Yo, what's going on? Yeah, so I didn't realize that it gives a little pop-up saying that we're getting ready to go on before
Hmm
we go on. So when I saw Jeremiah D saying hello, I was like, "Holy shit, we got a hacker! What's going on?"
The first hacker.
Yeah, I didn't realize, but yeah, so that's pretty cool. So it shows a green screen before we go on.
Right. So we can actually put up like some type of music or something if we wanted like pregame, pregame
Yeah,
music or whatever,
yeah. So you guys see in real time, we're figuring all this out.
yeah.
Figuring all this out.
Stacy
But
D,
yeah,
what up?
what's
Slide
going
one
on?
one one one, what up?
Yeah, that's Sly 1111. He seems like a degenerate, man. I don't know about that dude. Actually, no, I know him in real life. He's a cool dude.
Who Jeremiah D?
No, Sly.
Oh, Sly. Oh, okay.
Yeah, Sly's my people. Big shout out to Sly. Stacy D, how you doing? See, people always say this is like a guy's stream, but
There's
look, the
women
lady.
here.
Yeah, it's not.
There's a woman watching right now. She's not in the comment section, but she's watching.
No, she's there. This is Stacy D right there.
No. This is someone else.
Oh, there's another one.
Yeah,
Okay.
somebody that just texted me and said, I seen you guys are live right now. So she's watching right now too.
Mario's gonna be joining us, but when I found out there's a green screen and people were waiting, I figured let me just put it up now. But yeah, man, the Kobe Bryant thing was pretty. I thought for sure it was a joke. I thought that
Yeah.
thing was a joke
I
when.
was hoping it was.
Yeah, I wish we had. I'm looking into how to put the phone calls and take calls because this is a day I would like to take calls and see what people are saying. But
Yeah. Well, I mean, if anybody have any questions, they can put them in the comment section or any
yeah, for sure.
suggestions or comments or something. I'll definitely be reading off the comment section.
But yeah, people in the West Coast are really like broken up about this. I'm trying to think what.
Man, it would be like if Derek Jeter died.
Yeah, oh, that's a good one from New York. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
If Derek Jeter died, and Derek Jeter is what, about the same age, about 41, 42.
Dude, I saw Derek Jeter in person about to go out at night in the town.
Yeah.
And up until then, I thought Derek Jeter was like super clean cut.
No.
But dude, he was dropping N-bombs left and right.
Yeah. Derek Jeter is like a fucking he's like a plumber, a pipe fitter, a steam fitter, or some shit. Like that.
Oh,
he's blue collar.
He's really polished on air, but yeah, he was dropping N-bombs.
He was some real nigga shit off air.
Yeah, that's what he was saying. He was like, nigga, let's go. We're going to the club, nigga. It was just dropping N-bombs left and right.
Yeah.
Hey, Manu12, how you doing?
Checker bet check. What was that? MSNBC. Yeah, I seen that. That about the newscaster. That, right? Yeah, but I don't know. Yeah, I'm kind of emotional about it, but you know.
I think she might have been saying Knicks Lakers mixed. That's her claim. I think she might have been, but I only say that because that would always be too stupid. But then again, to be racist, people have done stupid things before that made no sense.
Yeah.
So I'm not ruling it out either. So just for the record, I'm not caping for her because she's a pro, even if it's a mistake, you know.
And we gotta remember, like, there's a lot of people reporting this stuff that never talk about sports ever on TV, on their news show, whatever. I'm not making any excuses for them, but they don't. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, at this point right now, like, I don't even care if it was a flub. If she said it on purpose, she'll get dealt with. But man, I can't even put it into words. Like, me and Mario was talking earlier, and I was just like, man, that shit just don't sound right. It just don't sound right. It don't sound right. I woke up this morning at 10, and I think it happened around 11, something like that. And my boy texted me, and I was like, man, you bullshitting. Like, Kobe Bryant ain't dead. Like, that's some shit you see on Twitter, somebody bullshitting.
Yeah. I thought it was fake too, but yo, I don't know. Online, I hate to just keep saying this, man.
What up, PB?
But we had that recent show. What's up, PB? We had that recent show about how online, if you're on it too much and you live your life on that screen, it just disconnects you. And there were just all these white leftists just going out of the way to show their ass and make jokes about Kobe Bryant. And it's like, you don't have to have a take on everything. You can just, how many things I see where like, I'm thinking some kind of fucked up about that. It's gonna piss some people off. And I just don't put it on. You know, I just don't fucking type it. Like, it's just, you don't have to fucking weigh in on everything.
Yeah.
You don't have to fucking weigh in on everything. Like, you know, people going in, oh, good, a rapist died. And it's like, he had a fucking 13-year-old girl with him, another 13-year-old girl that was her friend, their parents.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm going to be really real here. I think a lot of these people talking rape this, rape that, I don't think they really care.
They don't
I think
give
a
a
lot
fuck
of people,
about no rape. We gotta remember the people we talking about. They don't care about no damn rape.
I think a lot of these people got a poison in them, and I
Yeah.
think, and I've said this before, I think social media.
Mario said, "Let him in."
Oh yeah. I think, as I said this before, online is a poison redistribution system. That's all it is. It's the world's biggest instantaneous poison redistribution system. And any poison I'm carrying in me right now, in a split second, I can just send it to somebody else. That poison that it just eats me up, that self-hate 24/7. You know, I can make you feel that for like 10 minutes. And I think a lot of people, they just want to call him a rapist, because then now I have a clean target that I can just spit my poison at.
Well, I got something to talk about.
Get all that.
I got something.
I don't like him anyway, but I got something to talk about now. You know, I can make up some shit. Like, you know, when did that happen? 2005.
Yeah.
We ain't been talking about it. Why are you talking about it now?
And it's just like motherfuckers with the. It's just like people with the OJ case.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like, you got dudes that are 25 years old talking shit about OJ like it just happened yesterday. You know what I mean? And they're still mad about it. And, you know, sometimes people just, I don't know, man. Sometimes online makes me think we have more sociopaths and psychopaths than maybe we give credit for. Some of the shit people say.
I think
they're just afraid. They're afraid to bring it out into real life because they don't really have the balls to really go there. Because in real life, there's consequence of you saying dumb shit. Like, somebody will knock you out. You know what I'm saying?
There's another one too, narcissistic personality disorder, or whatever it is. That people don't talk about that like how they talk about psychopaths and sociopaths. But narcissists, you know, centering themselves at everything and not controlling what the hell comes out of their mouths in the worst situations. Man, it's
my personal feeling on that is that I think narcissistic personality disorder and sociopathic, in the DSM-4, they used to be called cluster B. They're all in the same thing. It was narcissistic personality disorder, sociopathic personality disorder, histrionic, and borderline. And they're not really totally different disorders. What it is like a narcissist and a sociopath are kind of the same general thing. They're all the same thing, which is you lack empathy.
Yeah.
Now, when I need you and I need your approval, now that empathy lacking person is narcissistic, and they're addicted to that narcissistic supply. But once
unpack that part of it a little bit. I didn't quite understand that. You said once I need you.
Oh yeah. Like say I'm lacking in empathy, but I'm empty inside. But I need you. I need your narcissistic supply. Narcissistic supply is any type of attention or ego boosting attention that you get from somebody, right? Narcissists are addicted to that. You know, the same way like an addict is addicted to drugs. But when they don't need you anymore, when for some reason you're not good enough to that they need your narcissistic supply anymore, then they discard you. It's called devaluing and discarding. And that's a sociopath. A sociopath is just a narcissist who doesn't need anything from you. That's all a sociopath is. All sociopaths have a narcissistic side to them, and all narcissists have a sociopathic side to them. It all depends on if they need you or not. A narcissist is a narcissist is an empathy impaired person that needs your ego boosting attention, and a sociopath is an empathy impaired person who has no particular need for you, so they're free to treat you like shit.
So you ever heard the term energy vampires and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Like, do they fit into a specific category too, or because I know you used to read up on psychology a lot. That's why I'm asking, because I know you.
Yeah, energy vampires is the general term for anybody that is like soul sucking, and narcissists, sociopaths, all those people.
Okay.
Kind of are, you know, because when you fuck with people like that, they're just takers and they're not givers.
Mm-hmm.
And people like that, that's what they all have in common. That's what makes them vampires. And you get drained when you're with someone who's taking.
You just feel like mentally, emotionally, spirit, whatever, drained. Like, okay.
Yeah, and that shit becomes physical, man. I'm sure people out there watching will agree, man. Like, if you're with somebody who's draining like that shit, you physically feel it, man. Your energy levels.
Yeah. I mean, it sends you into stress and anxiety dealing with people like that.
And on social media, don't you feel that? On social media, don't you feel like
hell yeah,
drained and shit? Like,
there's a fine line too. There's a fine line too, because I know I just said that I feel like that. Like a lot of these people are sociopaths or narcissists and shit like that. But this thing now, like that's popular on the online, is this pop psychology where like everyone's a narcissist, everyone's a sociopath, and then people claim it too. Like, man, I know I'm such I'm so bipolar. You know, you hear people say stuff like that.
Or I'm so OCD.
I'm so codependent. You know, that was another
to
say. So I feel like a lot of times that just people just put labels. Like, you could talk to any girl or any guy that had a bad breakup and they'll swear that their ex-boyfriend or girlfriend is a narcissist. You know so, it's just like, God damn, where do you cut the line between, you know, true narcissistic personality disorder and then just somebody
that ain't shit
fucked you over in a bad
but you know, like everybody has that in them, you know what I'm saying? And but it's a matter of
totally agree with that.
They call it subclinical. Like subclinical is when you have something below the clinical level. And everybody has some little bit of narcissism in them, a little bit of sociopathy in them. No, to a degree, like you know. But this is what I think. I think the internet is making that stuff worse because it creates a place where you don't see faces, you don't see names, you just see like avatars and funky names and
people's personal play, and it becomes people's personal playgrounds.
Playground. It's like you're playing a video game. You just throwing.
It's like playing Grand Theft Auto, where you can just go run around the streets and
kill
cars,
perfect analogy. That's a
knock people out, shoot people
with no real consequences.
And if you die, you can do it again.
For sure.
Like
you don't get arrested, you don't get socked back in the face. You know, what I'm saying?
Right. Yep. Yeah. People's faces are literal mirrors, and what I mean by that is like when you're talking with somebody, they call it mirror neurons. You look at their face and you can see what effect you're having in real time, as in you can see like, wait, this person's face just changed, this person's sort of getting pissed, this person, that's part of empathy. Mirror neurons are part of empathy and shit. But if you think about the internet, you're just talking. It's, you know, they say text has no back and forth. I mean, text has no context.
No context.
Like,
no context.
Yeah. But like with social media,
it's just odd considering it's called text.
Exactly.
I always say that text messages get lost in translation.
That's it.
Yo, we got people who grow up on the internet who spend like 90% of the time on the screen, and they're not developing these communication skills that involve reading somebody's face, reading their expression, vibing on their energy. Sometimes someone's face doesn't even change, but you feel the energy change. You know when you say something and the energy just changes, you can't pinpoint like, wait, shit got tense, or shit got horny, or shit got scary. Something happened. I mean, that's energy too. That's energy too. You know what I'm saying? But
the horny energy showed up.
Yeah. But I think online with text, man, I think there's. I'll give a perfect example because we talked about this. We were talking about why do so many of these people. We were talking about why do so many of these people online post these ridiculous scenarios all the time and try to build on them. Remember we were talking about that? Like someone was like, "Hey, if you see this happen on a bus, where would you sit?" And then everybody was just arguing about where they would sit on the bus with a group of people on the bus, and we were saying, what's wrong with these people? These people have no type of
I remember that.
Real life conditioning. They have to like sit down and just powwow online in these threads, debating the most mundane interactional shit. And I started realizing, you know what? These people are young and they're growing up so online that little real life interaction that we take for granted, they're the blind leading the blind, trying to figure shit out. You know what I'm saying?
So they have no real life soundboard, no friend that they can call to to bounce their ideas off of.
No friend that could call. Also, no real life experience to draw from. Like, there's a lot of shit you just got to figure out yourself. Like, I can't tell you.
Yeah,
you can't tell me.
That's true to no motherfucker. Yeah,
I gotta just keep doing it until I get the feedback. You know,
yeah.
Someone's face is feedback when I talk to you. Someone punching me in the face is feedback. Like, you know, I say something slick and somebody punches me. That's feedback. You know, there's a lot of energy's feedback, but these people, their only feedback is just a screen and text and a bunch of people saying, "I'm not mad. You mad? Oh, it's all for the lulls." Like,
yeah.
You know,
you must be getting mad. Yeah, there's a lot of.
So let's bringing it back to what that piece of shit and Charlotte was saying about Kobe. He you know, people like that kind of fit into the category because I'm gonna tell you like this, man. I'm from Aldina Block Crib, and I've seen so many enemies that I know personally that I have personal beef with die, right? You'll hear about it, whatever the case. Yeah, such and such, man, he just got smoked a while, but whatever. And I can honestly tell you, man, like my worst enemies, I never was like, yes, you know,
right? Yeah,
and I'm gonna keep it all the way 100. You know what I mean? You'll be like, man, fuck that other side over there, whatever. But like, I never was like happy that somebody died. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Maybe that's probably the wrong mentality to have as far as gangbanging goes. But I for whatever reason, I never felt like that. I felt like it was just something that had to be done. But, you know, I was never happy that another life was taken. And so
you look at it, it's part of the game.
It's part of the game. It's like war. Like a soldier, an American's troop that goes over to Germany in World War II or whatever the case may be. You know, some of them are over there and they're extra with it, and others are just there just doing their job, you know, because they feel like the mission is bigger than themselves, you know. And that's kind of like how I always felt about that kind of stuff. And I can't even relate to that kind of sympathy. Well, it's not even a sympathy, like that kind of emotion where somebody dies that you really have no personal connection with at all. Yeah. And you're glad that they're dead. You know what I mean? Like, I just, because we see that sometimes online too, where somebody dies of, I think, who was it? What was the Dog the Bounty Hunter dude? His wife passed away from cancer. You know, and that family, you know, are racist pieces of shit. You know what I'm saying? But how fucked up cancer is, dude. I can't sit there and be like, yes, she's dead. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just beyond the pale to me. But maybe I'm just soft, man. I don't know, because they say it seems like the world is run by sociopaths and narcissists.
But our last guest was talking about that. He was saying how that nihilism kind of builds up online. When you, what were the things he said? He said that you kind of have this nihilism. So first you have a nihilism, then you spend a large chunk of your life behind the screen, whether it's your phone screen, television screen. Then he said the third thing was you've kind of checked out, as far as checked out on life, like checked out on the future, on, you know, getting a good job, on getting a happy romance, on whatever. And like when those three things happen, and people associate that with the alt-right, but it's happening with everybody. There's a lot of people, they're just nihilistic. They're all some edgelord shit. They're all spending way too much time behind the screen, looking at just glass behind a fishbowl. They're just trapped in their own personal fishbowls, looking at someone else in a fishbowl, but not even seeing that person's face, just some kind of cover that person put in front of their face. And then these people have nothing going on in their own lives. Kenny always says this about how a lot of these people are like,
they got shit going on.
West Bubble Fuck. But the one thing I disagree with Kenny on is there's a lot of people in popping places like New York and whatever who are still living a life like this. They're just staying in their apartment. Look how many of these profiles will say Brooklyn on them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you guys this. There's the edgelord, psychopath, sociopath part to it, but then how much of this is just straight up racism, white supremacy? Even on the left, some of that racial sentiment comes into play, because I don't want to gloss over that. Or do you think it's just they give it to either side?
I think racism is narcissism and sociopathy. I just think it's a racial narcissism.
Yeah.
Bobby Wright had a book on that, the psychopathic racial personality, and it was all about, he uses clinical definitions of racism and of narcissism and sociopathy.
You said it was called
the psychopathic racial personality. Like okay, I'll give an example. I'll give it
psychopathic racial personality.
If I had a book,
can't type for shit no more on a computer. I'm so used to texting on the little ass phone now, the QWERTY keyboards, like when I have to use a full size keyboard. All right. Go ahead, T. I'm sorry.
No. I mean, but racially, it's the same thing. If you look at the definition of narcissism or sociopathy and just change it to being about race, it'll be the exact same shit. Like, okay, let's put up narcissistic personality disorder, right? And what's the good definition of that? Okay, so here's a definition of narcissistic personality disorder. Narcissistic personality disorder is a mental condition in which, and if say change people to race, in which a race has an inflated sense of its own importance, a deep need for excessive attention and admiration, troubled relationship with other races, and a lack of empathy for other races. But behind this mask of extreme confidence lies a fragile self-esteem that's vulnerable to the slightest racial criticism. Like I just took the definition of narcissism and just, applied it to race. Okay. And it all like works. So here's the symptoms of narcissistic personality disorder, and then just think of it racially. Like this is what the book by Bobby Wright does, and it pretty much tracks. So here's the elements: have an exaggerated sense of self-importance. It sounds like a white supremacist. Have a sense of entitlement and require constant, excessive admiration. That sounds like a white supremacist. Expect to be recognized as superior, even without achievements that warrant it, And that's like those white supremacists were like, we created civilization. We created the West. And there's some dude sitting in his basement playing Doom all day, Exaggerate achievements and talents.
Playing Doom all day.
Yeah, and then we're talking about we created civilization. Be preoccupied with fantasies about success, power, brilliance, beauty, or the perfect mate. Believe they are superior and can only associate with equally special people. All this is, if you expand it collectively to a race instead of individuals, it's monopolize conversations and belittle or look down on other races they perceive as inferior. Like I changed the word people to races. Have an inability to recognize or unwillingness to recognize the needs and feelings of other races. And also be envious of other races and believe other races envy them. And that's something that the white supremacists do. A lot of them, as much as they say other people suck, they have a low-key envy of a lot of other races too.
I can see that for sure.
But the thing about, with Kobe Bryant, you know what I'm saying? There's like this weird, they would even, races are so insane. It's such a mental illness.
It's like this. It is.
If it was Serena Williams that passed away, they'd find something that happened in her lifetime. It might not even be her, it might be something her dad did. Or, look, you just said it earlier. They don't give a damn about no rape. They don't give a damn about none of that, because if they did, they wouldn't have voted for Donald Trump. But that's another TV show for another time.
Yeah.
And also, if forget about rape, if they cared about women, because caring about rape is presumably by caring.
They don't care about women.
You would care about his daughter that died, her female friend that died. Like his daughter didn't deserve.
No.
For those in the hold on, guys in the chat and everywhere, hit that like button, subscribe, all that good stuff. What's the order that they said? Subscribe, like, share, all that.
Like, comment,
there you go.
Subscribe. What's the like count right now? You can see it.
I don't know. We got.
I don't know how to look at it, man. See, you're blowing up my spot that I have no idea what I'm doing by asking me questions like that.
Somebody go to the YouTube page. I was about to say, I'm not saying anything else until you guys hit that like button.
We're gonna pause the broadcast until you guys hit like.
I'm going to the bathroom and I'm not coming out until you hit the like button. No, but the thing about it is, like, we was talking earlier, and like everybody that I talked to, of course, there's gonna be bias. I'm from the West Coast. You know what I'm saying? Kobe Bryant is like the way New Yorkers look at Derek Jeter.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, sure. I can't even explain Kobe. I can't explain it. You know what I'm saying? But one thing we were talking about earlier is, there's always going to be idiots that's going to post dumb shit. That's always got something dumb to say. You know what I'm saying? That's fine. Whatever. I don't have to look at it, and I'm not going to. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to give them energy, and there's other people out there that's giving them energy for whatever reason. But the inspiration side of Kobe Bryant, like, for not just current NBA players, but even people that don't play basketball. And it's not about Kobe Bryant. You know what I'm saying? It's about just artists, period. Someone that could do something that you can't do. Someone that can do something you can't. It's something that we always, people, I can't remember who said it, but they said it about rap music. They said the reason why they loved hip hop a long time ago is because they knew that they couldn't do that. They couldn't do what Rakim did. They can't do what Big Daddy Kane did. You know what I'm saying? You could try to rap, but you couldn't do it like them, to whereas now everybody can rap, So it's the same thing with Kobe. Like what Kobe Bryant was doing, there's a whole lot of motherfuckers in the NBA, but they couldn't do that shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's just another level. You know what I mean?
And
like
what I appreciated about is go finish your thought.
Bro. Oh no, I was going to say, like, just like Nipsey, when Nipsey passed away last April, you know what I'm saying? When, I always had this analogy in my head, like, okay, his album was called Victory Lap. Boom. It was meant to be. It was meant to be, even though it didn't feel right. But even with Nipsey, who a lot of people didn't know who he was until Victory Lap, right. Listen to what he's saying. Like, it's not about a lot of people, like you were saying, Mario, about somebody getting killed, you know what I'm saying, in the hood. I don't know him, you know what I'm saying? But they don't have anything that's inspiring, and that's nothing against them. You know what I'm saying? But that inspiration goes a long way when you listen to someone, whoever you listen to. You might be listening to Dolly Parton, and you was at work one day and you went to work with your pistol and was like, I'm about to kill every motherfucker in here. And that Dolly Parton song came on, you're like, you know what? I'm gonna just go home. I'm gonna take my black ass home, and I'm gonna relax, and I'm gonna just look for another fucking job.
And that's the beautiful thing about art, man.
Exactly.
And like when we were texting earlier, man, talking about this whole thing, you made a great point when you said that. You said sometimes it's just about the inspiration, the little things that people like that give you. And then you use that example of someone, getting ready to do a horrible act or getting ready to commit suicide, and suddenly, man, they hear a song or a lyric or something makes them laugh. They see something funny on television, and they just change their mind.
I know somebody personally.
Right on.
I know somebody personally that went to somebody's house to kill him, and they turned the radio on, and a song came on. I don't remember what the song was, but it was a Stevie Wonder song, and the song, and they drove off. I know somebody personally. I'm not gonna say their name. I know him personally. I'm dead serious.
Wow.
They wanted to. It was over a woman. I ain't telling their name.
I was gonna kill somebody.
That'd be dirty.
They was sitting in front of somebody's house with a pistol and waiting for them to come out. And they turned the radio on, and some music came on, and they said "fuck it" and drove off.
Well, now, what song was it though? That's what I know.
I don't remember. It was a long time ago. This was back in the 90s.
There's so many damn Stevie Wonder songs that can do that.
All of them, yeah.
Like, exactly. It's so many songs.
It was "Ribbon in the Sky." That's what.
"Ribbon in the Sky." There you go.
"Ribbon in the Sky."
Do you think the content of the song matters? Like, say it was like a gangster song, like Dr. Dre, "Rat-a-tat-tat." Like,
you can pull the trigger that day
to make you want to do the shit. Huh?
But I gotta be amped up to go in and like shoot him even more. Like, I'm gonna shoot someone else on the way home too.
What was the song from that?
His lyrics line said, "Please be part-time lover."
That has all kind of implications.
What if a Jungle Fever? He like left
right.
It was in an interracial relationship. That's funny though. Yeah, like you said, somebody going to the office to kill somebody and then drowning pool, let the bodies hit the floor. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it should go either way.
Yeah,
like I used to love G-Rap, man. If I was listening to G-Rap, I don't know, I wouldn't make a right choice. personally.
Right.
Yeah. But you know what I'm saying. Though. We're joking about it.
I know what you're saying.
You know, you find inspiration. Like you go through a bad breakup or whatever the case may be, or like what you said about Nipsey Hussle, man. I'm gonna say this, and Kobe Bryant's the same thing for me personally. You know, being a LA area native.
Yeah, man.
You know, I was not big into Nipsey for a long time. People used to try to put me on to him, and I just wasn't really feeling it at first. And then I think I heard Only a Case. I think that was the first song of his that I really heard that made me be like, damn, this shit okay. And then after that, I started digging into his catalog a little bit. He was still alive at this time.
Yeah.
You know, and then so Victory Lap dropped, and then I started listening to some of the lyrics of the song. I'm like, damn, you know, this is making me want to get on my shit, man.
Yeah,
like,
man.
I really want to get on my shit, man, and be about my business because I was going through some stuff, you know, the last couple of years, y'all know.
Oh yeah,
and it was just like, man, nothing's working out for me right now, man. Like, you know, just fuck, man. And then I started listening to that. And I'm like, damn, you know what? I'm gonna keep grinding, man. We're gonna make
you know what Nipsey, when you listen to Nipsey rap, basically what Nipsey saying in a lot of his songs is, there was a point in time in my life I ain't had shit. And this is what I had to do. And what I'm telling you is, if you don't stop doing what you're doing, you gonna get there.
Right.
You know
and it's not do for selfism because a lot of people will mistake it for that. What it's called is self-efficacy.
Absolutely.
Right. We talked about that before.
Yeah.
And that's a little different from bootstrapism, striverism, do for self. That's not what we're discussing when we say that. These people have real issues going on in their everyday lives.
Internal locus of control stuff.
Internal what?
Internal locus of control. Is that what's off? You know, this idea that, you know, you can kind of have some control over your life, like you're not just a victim of outside forces.
You can apply that. I think the classical meaning of it is how you react to outside. You have a goal, and then how you react to negative outside stimulus to you achieving that goal, or whatever the case may be. So
that makes sense.
Some people tend to give up sooner, and then some people tend to take the same hits, but they keep on going to get whatever it is that they want to achieve. What's that?
Like resilience.
Resilience. There you go. It's just
resilient.
It's like resilience. That's a perfect way to summarize it. And so that's basically what the message that I got from the music.
Quick thing. JG said, I beat a nigga ass after listening to Lyrical Gangbang on repeat.
The Chronic.
That song will do it, though.
That'll do it. That'll do it. Listen to the Natural Born Killers.
Right.
The murder.
But you know what I'm saying? Like that, but it even if you was somebody that, you know, like it really works like that. A lot of people don't understand that. Like me and Mario was talking about, like if you was an athlete, you might not have been a great athlete, but you could aspire to be, you know, hopefully one day. It's not about money. It's not about fame. It's just about the inspiration. So, you know, because you see a lot of people saying, man, y'all care more about Kobe dying. Man, it was somebody in your neighborhood got killed last week. Really, motherfucker?
That's not really. Yeah, that's not. That one thing has nothing to do with the other, man.
Yeah,
like,
what?
I didn't know the dude in my neighborhood.
I have no idea who that dude is. Right?
Yeah,
exactly.
I feel I don't want to hear about nobody. I know everybody got people that love him, so heart goes up. But that person didn't inspire me.
Yeah.
Great. And then there's also the fact that, look, man, you just admire. You can be someone who admires people's craft. You know what I'm saying? Man, like I like to see greatness at work and how people go about achieving a high level of whatever it is that they're into, whether it's art, science, music, sports, whatever the case may be. It's a certain mystique that goes into that craft, man. And I really appreciate looking at how that stuff goes. You know, someone who's a great writer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so there's that aspect of it too. So when we say that, and then look, man, sport affects us culturally like nothing. I can't think of anything else that affects you culturally like sport.
Yeah, in this country, and it's probably in other countries, but with soccer. But in this country, all over
the world,
in this country, when it comes to like football, baseball, basketball, or college sports, it's just something about, you know, someone you've been following. Like Michael Jordan had that, like Magic. You think about this. Me and my brother was talking about this earlier. if you was a motherfucker that came from across seas, right, and you played basketball, you know, back in the 80s and 90s, if you came from across seas, you were garbage coming into the NBA.
Right.
And just imagine you got to guard some big ass nigga named Magic.
Big 6'9",
and his name is fucking Magic. So you call back home like, yeah, I'm guarding Magic. And they're gonna be like, Magic? Who the fuck is Magic? His name is Magic. You know what I'm saying? So you get inspired by that because this dude is honestly, Magic Johnson is probably the most odd athlete since Wilt Chamberlain to be that big and be that talented to play that position. You know what I'm saying? So to see that, and I always tell people like Magic Johnson made basketball look fun. Michael Jordan made it look like work. Like Michael Jordan made basketball look like construction or some shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? To where Magic made it look fun. Yeah.
Mike MJ did, but MJ in his own right, he inspired people to want to fly.
Yeah, to want to fly.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like he was doing stuff.
I hate using this word, it's overdone, but he also, for better or worse, I think inspired a lot of that grinding mentality. I remember that Gen X time, everybody was big into the hustle, grinding. I think beat for selfism was big in our era growing up, and I think Michael Jordan, like basketball wise, was kind of like that. He was the first one that really had like a sneaker empire, and he was super competitive. Like you said, Magic made it look fun, but Michael Jordan made it look like you know. I'm getting mine.
He came to work with combat.
Thank you. That's a perfect way to work. That's a perfect way to say, I'm gonna get mine. I'm gonna get yours.
Yeah. I mean, with Magic, Magic gonna feed the whole block,
feed everybody. Yeah, and that's the kind of shit that Nipsey was talking about. He was talking about feeding the whole block, staying on your shit so that you could have things to feed others, taking care of yourself, your family, your loved ones, and bringing everybody up to a standard, raising everybody's level. Michael Jordan was about himself, man. And he started that whole era in the NBA of wannabe Jordans coming out and just getting their own. You know what I mean? Yep. But I watched Kobe Bryant play. I think I've watched every Laker game that he played in from the time he came into the league until the game that he retired. I may have missed some in between, but I've pretty much watched every Laker game. And the one that I was actually live. I went to a bunch of preseason games, but there was one that I went to that was in the regular season. I went with my boy Sancho, and we were able to sit in the what the hell is that, man?
Michael Jordan, fuck them kids.
Fuck them kids. We were sitting in the suites. You know, they got them luxury boxes up there, man. So we got a chance to go in there and chill and watch the game. And that was the game he scored 65 points against the Portland Trailblazers and hit that turnaround three-pointer in overtime. That was amazing. You know what I mean? And I just remember shit like that, man. Just those moments, those highs, those lows. I remember when he announced he wanted to be traded and LA was just torn apart. You know what I mean? Like some Laker fan, it was split. You know, some was like, well, fuck him then. Get out of here. And then others was like, how could you do this to us? No, don't go. You know what I mean? So it just, man, like this is a tough one, man, for the city, man. I went to Smart and Final to go shopping earlier, and I'm not even exaggerating, man. Everybody was looking at their phone. I seen a grown ass woman crying in the car with her son. They were crying. People just looking somber, man. It was crazy.
Yeah.
You know?
Like I tweeted earlier because somebody tweeted this thing, right? You're talking about people crying, right? And I want to talk about the opposite, right? So I saw this tweet and it just got on my nerves. And someone was like, just got my Kobe Bryant will never die in a helicopter crash tattoo. And now I'm about to open Twitter. And I guess they try to make a joke like, hey, I just made I just got a tattoo about Kobe Bryant never dying in a helicopter crash. Now let's see what happens. I opened Twitter. Then when everyone got mad at him, he just kept making like more and more jokes and being an asshole. And he was one of those irony left guys or whatever. And it annoyed me. And I said, this fucking site, a lot of these irony bros are as tacky ghouls as 4chaners. Like all this shit leads to the same nihilistic place, no matter what you say your politics are. Like he and his daughter were probably clinging to each other as they went down. Like online is a really poisoned place. And this is what kind of disgusted me. This is a tweet I just got in response to that while you were talking. Someone responded to say, I will probably never feel for rich people. Guess I'm a psycho and I should just be a Nazi. And it's like, how are you going to make this about yourself and your victimization? because
it's always about you. It's always gotta be about you.
Yeah, instead of taking time to assess and say, maybe I'm fucked up. He just brought up the guy's
Or
daughter
just,
dying.
you know what? Even if you were thinking that, why did you tweet?
Why say it? Yeah,
just
shut the fuck up, man.
Yeah, he get mad about his hurt feelings but what he said too, right? He said, "I will never feel sorry for a rich person," and then
that's haterism. That's some fucking hater. That's haterism. Player hater.
And see, this what makes it hater. No, but look though, this is what makes it extra fucked up. Socialism doesn't even require you to, or even communism does not require you to hate anybody. You can have you can have a class analysis of things and still have compassion and empathy for human beings. Yes, we know rich corporations and rich people do really fucked up things every day. All right, we know this.
Yeah,
but yet and still, a man and his daughter died in a plane crash, in a helicopter crash. You understand what I'm saying? Yep. That's a mother that's now a widow that doesn't have the love of her life and one of her daughters anymore.
Children, yeah.
And there were other people on that plane. Right, exactly. There was a whole family on that plane. It was a coach, his wife, and their daughter that died. And we're not even getting into the pilot and whoever else. They said 9 people altogether.
Yeah. I was looking online. I was thinking, I was like, what kind of helicopter is this motherfucker in? And he was in one of them big ass fucking helicopters. Like,
yeah.
Who's this New York City Jeff dude, man? If you're gonna start trolling, man, you're gonna get blocked.
Yeah, I'm seeing that.
You lost my train. I was gonna say, God damn it.
Here, I'll say something real quick while you're thinking about that, right? So this person put in I'll never feel sorry for rich people, and it's like, okay, socialism, you should have a certain amount of humanism to your socialism, right? You should, like, I think a lot of these people the same way, and what I'm critiquing now is not legitimate socialism that has a humanistic element and cares about other people. I'm talking about these fucked up people's form of it, right? I think it's no different than the incel who is upset with the guy who's getting ass, or the pickup artist type of guy online who's mad at the so-called alpha and he's talking about I'm the beta, or the 4chaner or whatever who's mad at the the black people that he thinks are getting all the white girls, like Elliot, the way Elliot Rodger was, and all these people. Like, this specific type of socialist is someone who's just the same cut of cloth as these people, just nihilistic, live their life on screen, and have given up on improving their own lives and want to hate and blame somebody. But they just chose, instead of the alpha, instead of the Chad, instead of the Tyrone or whatever, they chose the rich person. And that's where this socialism is coming from. It's not from a place of, I want to lift everybody up with me. I have this intense empathy for people suffering, and I want no one to suffer. They just found a socially acceptable, woke way to do the same type of hating that all these other online poison type of groups do. So that's why this guy makes it about, oh, I will never feel sorry for a rich person, which is not what my point was. I wasn't saying feel sorry for a rich person. I was saying feel sorry for a human being. But it's also why all he can do is feel sorry for himself. He's empathy impaired. He can't, even after I just brought up this guy and his daughter and a bunch of people were clinging to each other on the way down to dying, he's like, what are you saying about me? I guess you just think I'm going to be a Nazi. And it's like he's playing a pity party for himself. Like,
well, there you go back to that narcissism piece that we just talked about.
Hold on, I just want to say something real quick. I'm gonna cut y'all off, but there's somebody named New York City Jeff in the chat saying some weird stuff. I don't have access to block him. Block this motherfucker. Get him the fuck out of here.
Saying that LA, somebody put a
saying
bomb.
Somebody was a bomb in a helicopter or some shit. Get the fuck out of here, man. You gotta beat it.
Either put a source up there or get the fuck
beat
out
it.
Of here.
Put an egg in your shoe and beat it.
I want to hear that shit.
Yeah.
But it was just like what it takes me back to when we did the Black Socialism episode, and Bill Fletcher Jr. said something that kind of stuck with me after that. When because I'm peeping out, he noticed it too. Like, there's a certain amount of people, every movement pulls in a certain amount of people that have mental problems. You know what I'm saying? And these movements are no different, man. These class movements and things like that, socialism, communism, whatever the case may be, is no different, man. You're gonna always have people that have undiagnosed mental illness latching on to the movements, and then they cause fucked up shit. They act as agent provocateurs in a way because
same with
pro-black
spaces. Yeah, there's people
pro-black spaces are full of that shit. Yeah, that's why I'm not fucking with none of the pro-black. I'm not fucking with none of the pro-black spaces right now. None of them.
They're just jealous of white people. They don't care about other black people. They just want to enrich their own pockets, and they're hating on white people, and they don't have
that may be why those spaces keep crumbling. Every movement that comes out of that pro-black space crumbles after a while, man, because it's psychopaths that eventually end up getting involved at high levels in those movements, and they always end up fighting each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, this shit is crazy, man. And that's why it's always got to be principles over individuals. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has to have a uniting set of principles that we move by, a code that we move by. And I know a lot of people talk about being on code, but that Neely Fuller Jr. said it best, man. That is the one and only leader that everybody should adhere to, is the code of conduct. Right. And a lot of people, they think the code means whatever they want it to mean. Other people need to stay on code, but I'm gonna move how I want to move. Like, people like that gotta go. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. This other girl posted, and she's getting roasted online right now, but she posted, "Time to log on to the website I used to connect with other leftists and post my tribute to the 1, rapist, 2, millionaire who died in a 3, private helicopter crash." And here's what I was thinking, like, even if you were just going to say the rapist part, right? Why did you add millionaire and point out that helicopter was private? As in, like, would it matter if he died on a public bus as long as he was a rapist? Like a lot of this is like kind of like hating mixed in. Like, you know what I'm saying?
These same motherfuckers ain't gonna say shit when Warren Buffett died. They ain't gonna say shit. They didn't say shit when Steve Jobs died. It's all tied to racism. They don't like rich black people
because their asses. It's kind of hard to type anything negative about Steve Jobs and your ass is using a fucking iPhone.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Or you're using a MacBook Air or whatever. You see what I'm saying?
So, Kobe Bryant don't have no type. They don't have no emotional connection to Kobe Bryant or personal connection.
Facts.
So to them, it's just a rich black person, which is how they feel about all rich black people. You know what I'm saying? That's why whenever you see about 6-7 years ago, every Jay-Z video, Jay-Z's an Illuminati. Motherfucker, if Jay-Z is an Illuminati, then what the fuck is Warren Buffett in? The varsity team of the fucking Illuminati? What the fuck is Steve Jobs in then? Don't keep telling me about all these rich black people supposed to be in these secret organizations, but you ain't saying nothing about these other white motherfuckers that got way more motherfucking money than Jay-Z and more power than Jay-Z.
Any organization that
Jay-Z's just a fucking rapper.
Yeah. Warren Buffett got more money. Warren Buffett got more money than every single black millionaire rapper
combined. But they're not an Illuminati. They're just he's just an old man. And Warren Buffett's been living in the same house since 1956.
Yeah. Chris Rock said it best, man, and that he made that one joke that he said if Bill Gates woke up one morning and had Oprah's money, he'd kill himself.
Exactly.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
For real.
That's the kind of money these people are moving with. So
B. Scott asked if the girl was white. She was a white Latina, but I mean, she looks white to me. She has purple hair. And B. Scott said something good. He said they sit behind their screens and type stuff about quote unquote millionaires when their family likely has high wealth that they wouldn't give away. Yeah, is, probably good. She's probably talking about.
Good point.
Yeah. I mean, Kobe's like nouveau riche, or like his father was in the NBA, but she probably
his father didn't make any money. His father played in the late 70s, early 80s in the cocaine era of the NBA. They didn't make any money back then.
And he played in Italy, back when they didn't make any money. But she probably has like generational wealth or whatever. But the fact that she put private helicopter, like, you're just pocket watching. Like, your socialism is like Virgin versus Chad socialism. That's what I call it. It's Virgin versus Chad. It's incels versus Chad socialism. It's not really. It's a well rationalized hating, and that's why these people, they look and they sound just like 4chaners. And the comments that I got for pointing out how ghoulish that was is just a bunch of people with weird anime avatars and fucked up names getting mad at me, and they're indistinguishable from 4chaners in the aesthetic. The only difference is they're talking about, oh, I guess you must like the rich, T. You like billionaires, huh?
Yeah, I do. I want to. That's what the fake Black Panther that we had on when he was talking about the fucking money and talking about coming to the hood. I'm like, motherfucker, you sound like a motherfucker that got some money. You know what I'm saying? Like, any neighborhood when people ain't got no money, you might get your ass kicked.
You're gonna leave there with your socks on, and that's it.
With holding up his motherfucking pants. You know what I'm saying? So,
but
talking about people money and pocket watching and shit, man. You get your head busted open doing that shit, man. Stay online. That's what you do. Stay online.
Real talk. That's the best advice I can give.
To me, honestly, those people, you know what I'm saying? I don't give them the energy for the simple fact that fuck you.
Simple as that.
Fuck
you know what? These movements, they have so many things in common, man. I was gonna say, like, if you look at pro-Black spaces, if you look at white leftist spaces, we always talk about structural racism, structural poverty, capitalism, this, that, and the other. We talk about it with our jargon structurally, but it always ends up coming back to individuals. Individual acts of racism. Did you hear that about that guy that yelled nigga at the Black kids when they were going to school? Or individual millionaires or billionaires who die. You know what I'm saying? Right. It always comes back to that. So your words say one thing, your action says another, man. Like, the shit that you get riled up about, it always seems that it's about individuals versus looking at the bigger picture, which is the system overall. And people forget that. You know, every time I log into a pro-Black space, they talking about some individual act, some random ass individual act of racism. I'm like, look, man, if we keep punching for that bullshit, we'll be out of ammunition. By the time
it's the motherfucker that go from bar to bar fighting people. You know what I'm saying? They just go from bar to bar fighting somebody. Like, man, you looked at me funny, so you fight him. Then you go across the street. You looked at me funny, so you fight him. After a while, your knuckles is bloody, your wrists are broken, and eventually you're just gonna get your ass whooped because you ain't got no more energy. So
you ain't got no more energy.
You ain't got no energy. So it's like what you're doing is you're exhausting yourself, and the system is based on pulling all your energy, your resources, your time, everything.
They're pissing head on into a high wind. That's what they're doing.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
But
they're on the beach.
Those pro-Black spaces, like you guys are saying, those people, a lot of them just don't know what to do. So they don't know how to fight against these things. So it's like the
other problem with pro-Black spaces too is no matter where you start, they always end up fighting other Black people because I think it's less scary than fighting white people. But also,
they got all the smoke, for other
all the smoke for other Black people. But also, you can fuck up another Black person. You know, you can cancel another Black person. You really can't. Like, think about all the white people, Black people have tried to cancel. We really can't cancel anybody, really. But we can cancel another Black person in a pro-Black space.
You know what I'm saying? Chris Brown, what happened?
But I will say this. Let me say this too. Look, man, doing all the work that I've done in the community, I hate to say this, man, but when I look to my left and my right, the people who fight the hardest to fuck up what we're doing is other Black people, man.
Yeah.
And they are of a certain class background.
Yep.
And they're the ones that fight they're the ones that if they don't like what you're doing, they won't just walk away like, oh, I'm not fucking with them.
You gotta fuck it
up.
They'll
actually try to sabotage you. On the way out of the door, you know, they'll team up with other white people to.
I was just about to say that.
You know what I'm saying?
They'll walk out the door and be like,
"Yo,"
it's almost like they walking out your house and they drop some crack on the ground and then call
the police on you. They swat you. They go outside and swat you.
Right.
I've shown you guys some of those emails with me going back and forth with white administrators and stuff like that. They kick back and let the Black people attack. They get these Black bulldogs, man, and they sick them on us, and they sit back in the cut and watch it all unfold. And so we so busy trying to fight off the bites from the fucking pit bulls that we can't get to the person who's really causing the shit
out of your ass.
And there's a lot of people, and it's not just the boulets. Some B. Scott said the boulets and the strivers. Like it's true.
It ain't even that far.
Dude, like look at all the blue checks that the media can get to start barking at somebody. You know, whether it's Nate Parker, whether it's this, whether it's that, and they'll turn on each other because when like look at Gabrielle Union. Gabrielle Union threw Nate Parker under the bus, again the good side of people. Then when it came her time,
wait. You think she threw him under the bus? I don't think she quite threw him under the bus. You think so?
No. She said I'll find. She goes, I find Nate Parker's allegations very concerning, and said stuff like that in the news. She didn't
back him. She didn't make a strong defense of him. She kind of left him out. Throwing him under the bus to me would be like she purposely tried to kick some dirt on him while he was going through it.
No, she said She said, I have found myself in a state of stomach churning confusion. Those exact words over Nate Parker, and she said that sexual assault is a brutal, permeating stain on our society, and as a result, she quote cannot take these allegations lightly. Even though he was acquitted all those years ago and all that stuff, she wrote an op-ed on it, and she addressed.
I remember that.
Why did she address it in an op-ed? And it's like,
you do an op-ed about Harvey Weinstein?
Yeah. The title, it was in Los Angeles Times, and hold on, damn it, it's paywall. I was going to.
They doing that shit so much now. Everybody's paywalling everything now. These news
motherfucker, man. I don't like that.
All newspapers are technically paywalled when they're physical newspapers, but we've gotten so entitled to getting shit.
Yeah, that's true.
Now we get mad. Like, oh, you making it pay? But like back in the days, you had to go to the newsstand.
You had to go put that 25 or 50 cent in to get the. That's right. Yeah, true. I used to hate that shit. Side note, to put that 50 cent in there, and I only read the sports page.
Yeah. but yo, she got pissed. She kind of threw him under the bus. He didn't really take a strong stance. But then Terry Crews did the same thing to her now, and now all the people that were cheerleading her when she threw Nate Parker under the bus, and were cheerleading Terry Crews when he was throwing black men under the bus, now they're all mad at Terry Crews. But it's like none of y'all have any credibility, because all y'all are doing what you were just saying, Mario, which is just being attack dogs against other black people, and it's gonna come back to bite you. You know what I mean? You're creating a climate where that's okay, and eventually it's gonna come to you too. Like all those people thought, as long as Terry Crews is shitting on black men, he's all good. But that same anti-blackness that lets him shit on black men allowed him to throw a black woman under the bus. That same striverism. You can't trust a striver. You can't. Especially an anti-black striver. Yeah, people want to believe as long as they're only anti-black against men, or say I'm a guy who hates women, I say, oh, I like this anti-black person as long as he's only bashing black women, like a Tommy Sotomayor, this black men who are like, I hate black women. I like Tommy Sotomayor, but Tommy Sotomayor will throw your black man ass under the bus.
Yeah,
just as fast as you throw black
personalities, homie. Stop believing.
Yo, how do we make somebody a mod on this? Because I've seen other live streams do that. How do you? Stacey D said, "I'll be a mod. I'll block these idiots."
Yeah. T has to be able to do that. He has to do that, or he can make me or you a mod, I believe.
Oh, okay. You already did it, T.
No, not yet. I gotta figure this out. Meantime, in lifetime, you guys can just keep talking. I'll figure it out. Who wants to actually? Let's make B Scott a troll. That's a troll.
Make him a troll.
Let's make B Scott a mod so she can stop the troll. Actually, I don't know if B Scott's even. I'm calling B Scott
a man. You don't even know.
Yeah, because
you're calling him the person a girl. Okay. We don't know which you are, B Scott. We apologize. We apologize for misgendering you, B Scott.
Yeah, no problem. Because it was okay. Let's see.
He said, "I'm a dude."
Dude, my bad. It's all love. Hold on. I want to put something up on the screen. Look at this.
Oh, that's some poop.
Yeah. That's the Black Twitter topic wheel. This is what all pro-black conversations and pro-black space end up becoming, man. This fucking wheel right here. This is why y'all start off talking about white supremacy, and suddenly it turns into like interracial dating, diaspora wars, colorism. The dinner with Jay-Z one was funny because have you seen when people argue? Would you rather have $1 million or have dinner with Jay-Z?
Yeah, people were actually arguing that they would rather go to dinner with Jay-Z than have $1 million fucking dollars. Stupid. I was like, I should have got off Twitter then when I see that shit.
Yeah, and the idea is that Jay-Z,
so I can get the game, and then I'll make more than him. Get your silly ass out of here.
Exactly. The idea is that sitting with Jay-Z will get you so much
lying piece of get out of here with that bullshit. Trying to be sophisticated. Get the fuck out of here. You're gonna take that $1 million and go buy some Jordans. That's what you
dude. If having
he's one of the motherfuckers that we talk about, they don't buy Jordans and they gonna go buy some Jordans. I bet you. Fuck out of here.
If having dinner with Jay-Z was all it took to become a millionaire, you know how many millionaires there would be?
Exactly.
You know people Jay-Z has dinner with?
$1 million so he can get some game from Jay-Z.
Jay-Z probably has like dinner with like 100 people like in a given month. Right? There would be millionaires just sprouting up left and right. Like,
right. I listen to Jay-Z. The shit he don't say nothing that deep. I listen to him when he talks at different places and venues. He doesn't say anything deep at all. Like, motherfuckers talk about him like he's the secret. Get the fuck out of here.
I'm sorry, y'all. That shit is funny to me, man. You will pass up $1 million.
It's just people trying to be too smart for school, man. That's what it is, man. Like, you could pose a simple question to you can go on social media, pose a simple question like that shit about the dress. I guarantee you that was a CIA-backed experiment. It was a fucking was it a blue dress? And they were like, which color is this dress? Yeah, motherfucker. I know what you guys are doing. Everybody get everybody to try to think harder about it than they really have to. Then people start second guessing themselves and all that. Get the hell out of here. It was blue or whatever color. What was the color of that damn dress?
With Jay-Z, see, when we sit down with Jay-Z, what's going to happen? Going to matriculaze and matriculate us the game. See, $1 million. You're just going to get some Jordans. I'm going to meet with Jay-Z. Now, after I get done meeting, I might not have any money after. I might have to catch a cab home.
Put your kufi on. Put your kufi on, Kitty. Get your kufi.
Yo, and
start sounding like Michael Eric Dyson all of a sudden. We have to aggregate the resources, and then we can go and make sure that we calibrate everything and come together as a people, because you have to have the intrepidity to make sure your boldness takes place in the face of white supremacy so that we can come together and matriculate our resources, brother. You know, people be on that book. Get the hell out of here.
The worst thing about the dinner with Jay-Z thing is you can just read a book and learn how Jay-Z made his money. He sold drugs in the crack era, which doesn't exist anymore. Like, even if you wanted to sell crack, you couldn't make fucking crack money anymore. It is like a crack dealer now lives in their mom's house. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what a crack dealer does. It's not the 80s where they all had like Maximas kitted out with rims and they were sitting on all this money. No, he sold drugs in the 80s and he could be one of the top 5 rappers that ever did it. Can you do either of those two things?
That's not Checkers.
Yeah, can you do either of those two things? Unless in a single dinner, he's going to teach you how to rap like him, or, you know, get a side hustle that makes you enough money to open a record label. Like what do you think he's going to tell him in a dinner? Like what do you think he's going to tell him? Like, you know, rich dad, poor dad shit? Like what?
They're going to come to the dinner with some book and some shit. They're going to have some CD.
Hey, brother, you guys.
I know it's 2020, but this is a tape. I'm bringing tapes back, brother.
I'm telling you, VHS is going to be ready with brick and mortar locations to sell VHS tapes, brother.
Of my freestyle, it's on beta. I got the beta.
Man. Dude, that's people. Hold on,
I'm telling you, Laserdisc is gonna be the future, brother. It's gonna be Back to the Future for Laserdisc. I'm telling you.
You remember that mini disc, brother? I kept the I just went out of business. I kept those, and I recorded my freestyle. I didn't want $1 million. I came to give you this little mini disc.
Yeah,
you're gonna be like playing frisbee. Like, who the fuck is
this? Hey, as we're saying, this vinyl actually made a comeback. So shit, who knows?
Dude, on pro black Twitter, it's the same 5 conversations every day. Like, can you date white and still be pro black? And it's like, okay, no matter what you think about the answer to that question, you don't have to have the same conversation 10 days in a row. Like, and everyone weighs in with the same, like, okay, I understand. You said yes, you said no. Okay, fine. Why did you talk about it 10 days in a row and everybody falls on the same side of the argument? You just want to talk to seem like you're doing something. You just want to act like, but if this is where pro-blackness is, where no one thinks of any political program, anything, all we do is argue if mixed people are really black, if you can have same shit. Colorism, X, Y, and Z. It's like it's the same.
We can't do this podcast. T, you light skinned and me and Kenny are dark skinned, brother. So we can't do this podcast together.
Red down south. That's a little different, brother.
You have light skin privilege and you have male privilege. And
that's why T, you sit there and you take all the mic time because you're light skinned. You're practicing your light skin privilege, and you're not ADOS either.
ADOS.
You are a Caribbean infiltrator. You're coming.
When you get the reparations from France, see, then you come back and you talk to us. Brother. You can show us how to.
I'm part of Flag Twitter.
Flag Twitter?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You should put your flag up to troll people, too. Put your Haitian flag up.
Dude,
put a Haitian flag on your thing.
Dude, you read my mind. I was literally doing that right now.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I was literally doing Google image search.
Oh, no. You really gonna get blanked. You're gonna get blocked and unfollowed and everything else. See, I knew it. And he got an Indian wife too. See?
Exactly. He ain't black. He's one of them pretend brothers. He was infiltrating. See, I knew. See, look at that. Look at that flag.
I always had my eye on that nigga. Hey, what's homeboy name that kept whining like when you first started going on different podcasts and shit like that? And he kept on talking about, well, I'm just looking out for you, brother. I'm going to make sure that you don't get too comfortable in those white spaces. I'm just looking out for you, brother. Who was that dude?
I don't remember because there was a couple like that. Oh, damn. Someone said, down. Oh, come on, man. What's going on? No, what? Actually, I should really troll. Hold on. I don't remember, but there was that one guy who lost it on me over like being cool with socialists and you eat cake. That dude.
Him. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, okay.
No, but he wasn't saying it in a nice way. He was like fucking flipping out on me. I'd like block him. He was. But
yeah, I'm like, bro, you looking a little too hard, brother. Why are you looking at T so closely, bro?
Looking in your eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember.
T, I didn't know your eyes were brown like that.
He looked like Lionel Richie. Who was that?
That was Mike.
Oh,
that was Big Mike. Yeah.
R.I.P.
Oh man. R.I.P. Big Mike. We miss you down here. Oh shit.
We're in trouble with this one. People get really confused.
You have 1 million followers by tomorrow.
Actually, I'm true. Yeah. We should leave it up. This thing will have like 3,000
3,000 views.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I actually, in all jokes aside, you know, going back to earlier what we were talking about, man, about people saying fucked up stuff. There was somebody I used to follow on IG that he got his own little pro black thing going on, and he said some real fucked up stuff about Kobe.
Oh yeah.
I had to hit that unfollow real quick. That attorney, what is it? Attorney something dude. He's like this black attorney, big dude, big giant dude. And he was doing some nice stuff down there in the Florida area. And I actually hit him. I sent money to his Patreon last year. And he said some foul shit, like worse than with the dude that we saw is live. What's the dude name?
Ari,
the white Jewish guy. Yeah. He said worse shit than that. Like he was calling him a Sambo, and I don't give a damn about that buck dancing Sambo dying after what he said about Trayvon Martin and this. I'm like, God.
Wait, what did he say about Trayvon Martin?
I think he said when LeBron and them did the hoodie thing with the Miami Heat. I think Kobe just wasn't really fucking with it. He was like, all right, man, that's not my thing. I forget what he said. It wasn't a very flattering thing that he said. He just said, look, man, I don't know what the situation was. I'm not going to do all that until I know for sure what was going on or some shit. Kind of, he was doing some soft shoeing. And, so dude, I guess never forgot that. And then he started bringing up all this other shit, talking about he got a white wife and all this other shit.
A big problem with that shit is, like, people have no middle ground anymore. Like, I can not fuck with you without wanting you dead. Like I could say, yo, I don't like you. That was fucked up. I don't think you should die. There's no ground in there. Now I'm like, because you said whatever fucked up thing about Trayvon Martin, we're supposed to be happy that he and his child died. Like there's no sense of perspective. There's no middle ground or anything. Thomas B said he met with the Trayvon family after that. I don't know if that's
yeah, I saw that picture. Yeah, I posted that picture. It was him, Nipsey Hussle, and Trayvon Martin's father.
There you go. And he spoke at a Trayvon Martin event. So he went to the Trayvon Martin Peace Summit, according to, and he clarified the remarks as well.
But he still didn't go get George Zimmerman though.
Oh, he didn't take him out.
See, y'all quick niggas.
So y'all see what I did there?
See, y'all can shoot each other and do them drive-bys, but you ain't going. Look at Zimmerman still alive. He at Popeyes right now.
Yeah, some motherfucker in LA somewhere gonna drive across the country to go to Florida to go get Zimmerman's ass. I'm just like, man, if you don't get
he going to Florida to get Zimmerman.
Yeah. And with the women saying it, I kind of get it. It's like whatever, you ladies are pet, but it be men sitting up there saying that shit.
Get your ass up. Yeah, I was just like, get your ass up.
It's some buster in Florida talking about shit, but y'all do all that, but you ain't going to get Zimmerman. You in Florida, go pull up, go get him. You know what I mean? Get the fuck. You want somebody else to do your dirty work that you scared to do. Stop. Somebody did try to pull up on Zimmerman, and it wasn't a black person. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, you're right.
Somebody tried to get him, but it's some people that got the devil's luck, man. That's what I call it. Like, it's certain people, man, that like they got this thing called the devil's luck, man, where all the fucked up shit slides past them and gets onto other people, and everywhere they go, they just cause chaos and disorder. And Zimmerman is one of those people, man. He got like a mark on him. And like if you try to get him,
the Flintstones.
Yeah. If you try to get him, because the dude that tried to get him ended up getting like 20-something years.
Yeah.
Zimmerman killed Trayvon Martin, got off for it, and then the dude that tried to kill Zimmerman not only failed to kill him, but then he himself got 20-something years. He basically got life.
Yeah,
and it's just like motherfuckers like that. You got to stay away. I know it's superstitious, but people like that, you got to stay the fuck away from them, man. Because
he was busting that George.
Somebody asked if Boosie squared up with Zimmerman, and there was a rumor that he did. But when they asked Boosie about it, he claimed he never saw or fought George Zimmerman. So I don't know.
How would Boosie get in the vicinity of George Zimmerman?
I mean,
it'd be more believable if they said Gucci or something, like Gucci Mane or something. Ain't he from Florida? Trick Daddy or something.
Trick Daddy, yeah.
But yeah, it was an online rumor. But when they caught up with Boosie about it, he said it wasn't true. So yeah, I don't know.
Boosie a gangster though. He might, he might have. He just ain't gonna speak. Nah, never mind. He be on Vlad TV telling everything. So I can't even. I'm trying to say he on the G code, but when you go on Vlad TV and start telling all your business,
why you keep going on there, man? Get off of there, cuz.
How many people have been arrested after going on Vlad TV?
Shit, get off of there.
But yeah. Yo, I get the new school guys who do that, but like OGs and stuff are going on Vlad TV dry snitching. I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't get it either.
That generation,
mob dudes on there. John A. Light was on there. He got real mob dudes, hitmen that be on there. I'm like, what the fuck is you?
Yeah. Michael Francis on there. I watched. Man, I could listen to Michael Francis talk for hours, man.
Yeah,
that dude,
yeah.
He's just a real
Sharp.
cool, smooth, sharp dude, man. I could listen to him talk for hours, man.
That motherfucker got a cold scheme with the gas companies and shit. That motherfucker.
Yeah, he has some real cold schemes going.
Yeah.
But he's telling everything. Now he's telling everything related to himself, but still, it's like, God damn, like it's just, I guess, man, it's a different day.
These guys said Boosie with the Russians every day.
What did he say? Black TV is more for OG.
He said Boosie colludes with the Russians every day.
Oh. The Russian bots. Bootsy is the programmer for the Russian bots. He be doing the software programs.
That's like when Skip Bayless say he be texting Lil Wayne. I'm like, that just doesn't make sense to me.
Not at all.
It makes more sense than Drake texting that girl from Stranger Things. That's a weird one.
That kid?
What?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Vlad TV is Maury for OGs.
Drake that girl that plays, was it 11 on Stranger Things? Yeah, she revealed Drake be texting her and giving her advice about boys and stuff. And a lot of people were looking at Drake kind of funny style, like, dude, what are you doing, man?
How old is she?
What are you doing?
She's like, I think she was 11 at the time. She might be 13 now.
How the fuck does Drake know?
No, all those kids are older now.
All those kids are like 16, 17 now, I think. Stranger
But yeah,
Things.
but I think at the time of the scandal, she was like maybe 13.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Millie Bobby Brown, which is a strange name. I can't. Oh no, she was 14 at the time. Much better.
Oh yeah, that makes it.
I mean sarcastic. That's not.
I know. Yeah,
you
got to tell people now, huh?
Yeah. Someone take that out of context, and I'll be circling online. Like, look what he said, but he said 14 is much better than 11.
You know what's funny, man? I'm sitting here. I keep looking at the clock. And I'll be just sitting here thinking, like, how the fuck do some of these people be doing these 4 and 5 hour lives? Like they be on there. I saw one
brothers be doing that shit.
Sinetta and them, boy. Whew, I saw one with Dagger Squad. It was 10 hours, bro. I couldn't believe it. They did a 10-hour live.
No, brother. No, when the Jews left
10 hours, bro.
What shoes was they wearing?
They just no, but people be doing that shit with those Twitch streams too. Like people be doing these where they stream the video game playing.
Yeah, but
money.
That's different. These motherfuckers are just debating about the Bible and shit for hours.
Yeah, they be like, there's no real evidence for the Exodus, and you gotta go read this book. I found this book. The Jews are really the black man, but they be talking about that shit for hours, bro.
We are the third tribe because the Native Americans, they really black. I've actually heard somebody say that before, and I was like, I just lost my fucking mind,
dude. That's why the pro-black space is never going to be shit, because black people are only 13% of the population in America, and the amount of purity testing, white people got like 80% of the population, so they can break into 5 camps and still be a plurality. Plus, when it's time to stomp on black people, they'll get on code
as white supremacy. Thank you.
Black people have 13% of the population, and they want to purity test the shit out that 13% to the point where when you finally got enough black people who meet your purity test, it's gonna be 4% of the population by the time you're done. After you get out the biracials, after you get out the
LGBT,
after you get out the immigrants, and then you get out the people affiliated with ADOS, then you get out
the black conservatives.
Then you get out like the coons. Then you get out
teams like
the light skinned people. Get all the light skinned people out of here. You got to get them up out of here.
Get the biracials out. Get the people who are in an interracial relationship but not with a white person. Get them out too. Then get the people who are black but in an interracial relationship with a biracial person. So your wife is half black. Get them out. Now who's a Christian? Who's a Muslim? We'll figure it out. And that's what most of the pro-black space is to me. Like,
dude, listen, look, you're
90%
right. Fighting. I was in a it used to be a Facebook group, and it was supposed to be for like an interfaith community action based type thing where, like, black Christians, black Muslims, black people that are involved in the conscious community, all that, they can get together, chop it up about how to do things in the community. And I used to be a part of it, man, and it would just always break down into arguments about religion. I'm like, God damn, this shit is soul sucking, bro. I can't do it.
Fucking jailhouse conversations, man. There's a lot.
That's what it turns into, and I think because a lot of times in jail you ain't got shit to do, but you're sitting in your cell for hours and hours, man, just talking nonsense. And so a lot of dudes that been in there, you know, they come out with that same mentality, man. There's a lot of brothers that be on Signetter and all that used to be incarcerated. And so
and they just argue to win arguments, not to come to a higher truth or to come with a plan. It's like a sport. It's a competitive sport. It's like the hood debate.
I think Jason Black said it best. He said, all right, cool. We Moors, we are Hebrews, we are black atheists, whatever. What's the next step?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And there's never there's never a next step. It's always just these perpetual arguments about nonsense, you know. And nigga like me, I'm like, man, all that shit is bullshit. What we doing to fight white supremacy, man? You know, at the end of the day, but people ain't really with it, man. Yeah, people ain't really with the work, man. I've seen it, you know, I've lived it, I've experienced it. And in all my work that I've done, I've met maybe 3 people that wasn't scared, and they was out there doing the same things and trying to affect change in the community, going head up with white supremacy. Everybody else was just people trying to sabotage what those people were doing, you know. And that's why I said, man, I'm just like, I don't have the headspace or the energy anymore, man. Like some days I'll just be like, fuck it, I'm gonna just get my family together and make sure we straight, and then whatever comes up, we are able to deal with it, you know.
I feel the same way, man. I feel the same way. It's like, and the other thing is, man, the people that they platform are so ridiculous. It's like to have to deal, because there's a problem. Like, there's this idea that the internet's supposed to democratize everything, and it's like, you know, who cares about who's co-signed by the mainstream media or whatever? But that shit doesn't really work because they plant people now. They create fake shit now. Like some of this fake democratized stuff, I don't really believe a lot of it. I feel like these corporations now just be buying people followings and just like none of that stuff stays democratized. The money, the mainstream always wins. And the problem with black people, and Nina Fuller always says this, we're always serious about silly stuff and wait, what did he say? We're serious about silly things and treat serious things silly. You know what I'm saying? So it's
he
like
said black people are serious about silly things and silly when it comes to serious things.
Yeah. So the kind of shit that we actually do democratize and make pop will be like, and no offense to the Breakfast Club. Like the Breakfast Club, you know, is good for its lane, but it's not really. It's just gossip. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But that shit.
I think when you guys were talking about when they were interviewing some of the political candidates, I think it was Kenny that characterized the questions as T-ball. You know, they get in there and they lobby, they put up easy questions. They don't press anybody. They lob easy questions. They put it on a T-ball stand and set it up for who was fucking it up. I think it was Kamala Harris when she was on the Breakfast Club, and y'all said that
Kamala Harris rap dictionary, whatever.
Yeah,
what was that?
You said she couldn't even hit the ball.
Kamala
off
Harris,
the
rap genius.
Rap genius, yeah. And then they made the hashtag disappear.
Yeah, they made the
hashtag.
hashtag disappear.
Look, at a certain time though, do you gotta like press everybody that comes onto? Is there a middle ground that you can have when you have political guests come on to your show, right? Because Breakfast Club is a nationally syndicated radio show. So do you press everybody super hard that comes on your show? Or do you just, you know, how do you go about doing that?
I think you should at least not chill. And that's kind of the problem the Breakfast Club does, is that they'll straight up chill and endorse candidates. Like what they were doing with Kamala Harris is really ridiculous. They were going like third shows to kind of do cleanup for her flubs on
and
their show.
That's not their responsibility to do cleanup for
her
Kamala Harris. Right.
Yeah, exactly.
That's her and her camp. They're supposed to do the cleanup. But she got a lot of free a lot of free work out of them that she didn't have to pay people to do. Now it comes to find out that she
it didn't get her far.
What it reminds me of is honestly that whole thing. It's almost like what the Breakfast Club is telling their listeners is that we don't think you guys are very smart, so you got to let us do what we're doing, and we're not gonna, give her any hard questions or anything like that. It's like remember when I told you guys about the first Little Brother album, how BET said that their viewers were not smart enough for that. So Breakfast Club is not going to press it because they don't respect the listeners any damn way. You know what I'm saying? They don't viewers, whatever you want to call it. So they just.
But let me ask you: Are they right not to?
Are they right not to respect their listeners? Well, the listeners have to demand respect. Nobody has to give you shit.
What I mean, but are they right to not? I know what you're saying. Are they?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, I use a BET example. BET used to have a really smart lineup, and they used to have a mix of shows, not just rap videos. They would have BET News. They had the Old Teen Summit, which is when they had actual issues and serious talk. So that's smart viewers. But by the time the Little Brother album came out, BET dumbed itself down so much that technically they weren't lying. Their audience really was that dumb, but it was that dumb because they dumbed it down. They scared away anybody smart from watching. And I'm wondering if the Breakfast Club has hit that point.
Well, I always look.
JG made a good point. He said it's Viacom and they have limits.
Absolutely, exactly.
That's a very smart observation.
B. Scott made a good point too. They press hip hop artists extremely hard. That's true. Like if they do, but it probably depends on which one. If it's one that's too hot, they probably won't.
Well, yeah, if Jay-Z goes on there, they have limits. They know there's lines that they can't cross with Jay-Z. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They'll never press Jay-Z like they'll press.
Jay-Z has stake in some of these.
Exactly.
He was one of the people that made out like a bandit after the what was that, the 96 or 97 FCC Act, where they basically made it possible for giant corporations to buy up all the radio stations and shit.
Yeah, that's when all the Black
Federal Communications Act or whatever. Yeah. So I know I read somewhere Jay-Z had a lot to do with how a lot to do with soaking up a lot of the fallout from that. He kind of made out like a bandit after that whole thing.
If they're not going to press, if they don't respect the listeners and the viewers, and the listeners and viewers don't demand that respect, it could be one of two things. One, the Breakfast Club just don't give a fuck because they figure, well, if you ain't gonna listen, somebody else will. Or maybe the listeners and viewers don't want that. They don't want to be bothered with that. Now, I don't know how we will find that out. I don't know how that works, but I think that might be part of it because it really is at this point. Anytime Kamala Harris and whoever goes on, they start doing what they were doing. Man, if you have any kind of intelligence, or if you're interested in the voting aspect of politics, or who you're going to vote for, or who these people are and what they're about, you ain't gonna learn shit from the Breakfast Club. You're not gonna learn nothing. I don't give a fuck if Kamala Harris was smoking weed in 1988. Honestly,
and listening to Snoop Dogg though.
With Snoop Dogg in 1988, I expect someone like her to say some dumb shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
What's that?
That she was listening to Snoop Dogg while she was in college.
Yeah, I expect her to say something dumb like that. But what I would like to know is what the fuck? Who are you and what are you doing? But the Breakfast Club has turned their show is like, every major city has their quote unquote morning zoo station. You know what I'm saying? Where they do tricks and all that kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's what they are. You know what I'm saying? That's what they are. I mean, except on a few occasions, they only get serious when you start talking about like feminist politics. That's when you'll see Angela Yee turn into this fake feminist. But then you listen to her podcast, you're like, man, this motherfucker is off the hook.
Her podcast. That's a pornographic ass podcast, man.
Dude, that podcast, I wish you could pull up a clip from it. That podcast, did you see that podcast when they had the baby on?
Yeah.
Fucking thirsty as shit.
Oh, that was disgusting.
Middle-aged women just thirsty, but they all sound like thirsty gutter mouth teenagers. And it's like, it's the blind leading the blind. Like, how are you gonna have young people? Like, as an older person, you should be putting them onto some game. Like, I want to listen to Frankie Crocker as a kid and hear Frankie Crocker talking like me. You know what I'm saying? When I was young, like the older radio people acted like older people, and either you had to get on their level to listen to them, or you didn't fuck with them. But now everyone's so scared of being left out. Like now, older people try to come down to young people's level and operate on their level. And that's what the Angela Yee thing was. They were all just cackling, and
he was talking about being molested.
Yeah.
And they were like making it like they kind of like just skip right over that.
Yeah.
And they were just saying thirsty shit.
Yeah. Back to what Nelly Fuller said, serious about silly shit and silly about serious shit, and that's a perfect example of that.
But you know why they couldn't get serious? I'll tell you why they couldn't get serious, because they're subconscious about their age. They're in the entertainment industry where if you're above a certain age, you're now useless. Because no one has anything to learn from an elder. We don't have any elders, you just have old people, and no one has anything to learn. So the worst thing you can do is age, because all you are now is a horse that has to be made into glue. So if they acted too caring and mature and intervene like normal adult people are supposed to be, they're gonna look like aunties now, and they don't want to look like aunties. They want to look like hot girls. They want to look like city girls.
Did you see that a lot on media? You see them calling each other auntie. You know what I'm saying? It's like, so once you become, and this is not me thinking this is what I see. Anytime you become Angela Yee's age, Angela Yee is about 45, no kids. So now she's an auntie, because she's pretty much not desirable to anybody. She's burnt the fuck out. She done ran through the whole Wu-Tang Clan, which is another TV show for another channel. She has nothing left to offer, so now she's auntie, and then she just gets on the podcast saying wild shit for hours. Like her and Stephanie Santiago and all these other burnt out ass chicks, they just get on there saying wild shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
they don't want to be aunties. They're aunties. It's against their will, because these people, because that's
the auntie thing. I thought that was reserved for black women that give some game. You know what I'm saying? Or have something that they have, somebody that's like a boss in their life.
No. That's what I mean. I'm saying if Angela Yee and them started giving the baby game, now they're older women who are giving game, and that's what I'm saying.
Then they become auntie.
Exactly. Gotcha. They don't want to be seen as aunties. So that's why when he's saying this stuff, instead of acting their age and being like, damn, that's fucked up what happened to you, we've got to be like dignitaries, like B. Scott said in the chat. We have to be elders. They're like, no, we say anything that makes any type of sense, we're gonna show our age, and we're not gonna be cool anymore. And we're in entertainment.
But with the culture, you can't blame them to a certain degree.
Yeah,
because the world that they're involved in, especially when you get into that Twitterverse, that social media verse, we live in a world now where up is down and down is up, and women that talk with some sense, they actually are vilified now. Like you look at how they talk about Erykah Badu, Lauryn Hill, people like that. Like they don't like those people. I think somebody was even saying some weirdo shit about here goes one of my infamous brain freezes. What's the female rapper that spits real nice?
Rhapsody.
She don't do all the Rhapsody. Yeah, they were saying like some weird, because a lot of dudes like Rhapsody. You know what I'm saying? Because she don't got to shake her ass and do all of that. Like you really listen to her lyrics, she just as good as the men are. You know what I'm saying? Rhapsody is dope. And Il Camille is another one. They don't do all the bullshit. Lady of Rage, when she was in her prime, they didn't do all the magic tricks and twerking and bullshit like a lot of these new artists do. But we're in an age now where a lot of the young ladies, they don't give a damn. That's what they were saying. Somebody made a great point. This is why I still keep my eye on social media. Somebody made the point that they were saying, but men don't appreciate Rhapsody. It was a woman that said this. And then the dudes were like, man, men, we the only ones who really celebrate Rhapsody. It's y'all the ones that don't. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Y'all like Meg the Stallion and City Girls, and women don't fuck with Rhapsody.
No, hell no. No, they don't fuck with Rhapsody.
Yo, I'll give you an example. Like, what's her name? Nicki Minaj. She's aging. She's getting towards 40, and she's still doing the show my ass cheeks all day type of shit, right? But Megan Thee Stallion came out, and then because Megan Thee Stallion's hot, and Nicki was starting to lose her shine with Cardi B coming out, Nicki started hanging out with Megan Thee Stallion. But instead of hanging out, like, listen, if I'm going to hang out with somebody in their 20s, I'm going to make them do some more mature shit. I'm not going to go and start doing shit. on their level. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna try. Maybe we'll drink some scotch together at the bar, and I'll talk about some shit and say, "Hey, I've been in this game for a while. Let me put you on to something." But she started live streaming the stuff with Megan Thee Stallion, and they're both having a slumber party in booty shorts and acting like little kids. And it's like, what are you doing? You're acting like you're acting like her age.
The rap and there's a difference between rap and hip hop, and rap is just something being done, and that's what they are. They're rappers. Rhapsody is hip hop. Rhapsody can actually make songs, and I'm not hating on Meg Thee Stallion. I think Meg Thee Stallion can spit.
Yeah. Like Meg got lyrics. Yeah, she can spit for sure. She don't even have to
make it worse.
Yeah, the booty popping just is icing on the cake. She can spit. I don't know if somebody's writing for. I don't know if she's using her own pen or somebody's. But whatever the case may be, she got it. But the thing is what I was telling somebody else this is Nikki's problem is she's at that age now where the younger girls who are doing her thing, the ass shaking and all that, they're at that age where they can still do that. She's at that age where she doesn't know how to transition into her grown and sexy phase. Exactly. Beyonce did that very well. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Beyonce pushed up on 40. But she's doing her grown sexy thing. It's that she's not doing what she was doing when she was in her 20s. Right. And so Nikki doesn't know how to do that. You know what I'm saying? So she's the 40-year-old stripper still twerking, and it don't work like that. You know what I mean? Like young girls are not checking for you when you get to that age. They're gonna check. That's just the law of the jungle, man. You know, the young come in and they eat the old, and she ain't able to transition. Like how the hell we go from talking about Kobe Bryant to this? I don't know, but
I was going to get back to Kobe Bryant because people are sending me on my phone bigger and bigger names, including the actress Evan Rachel Wood. Like all these people just weighing in with their Kobe Bryant was a rapist take.
I don't even. But this is the thing, fam. I'm just.
I don't want to know. You don't want to know.
We don't.
Evan like Rachel, what the hell is that?
I don't even know who the fuck that is. You know what I'm saying? So
she's some Hollywood actress, but it's like people are just sick, man. Because I don't think they really care. Because they've been trying to get him out the paint all this time. They really cared that much.
Yeah, but to validate, we as not just black people, but intelligent people. Period. To validate ignorance like that. You're not gonna. It's like if I gave you a fucking piece of a steak and it had no nutrients in it. Like you're not getting anything from that shit. You know what I'm saying? It's the 5 minutes of attention they're gonna get, and they're gonna go back to being nothing. And Kobe is gonna be a legend until we ain't on this planet no more. Because the thing about it is, there's a difference between the level where Kobe was as an athlete and as an icon and all those kind of things, and where they are. You know, a kid who loves basketball and loves Kobe as a basketball player. You know what I'm saying? I can love O.J. Simpson as a football player. People don't know O.J. Simpson was a motherfucker on the football field. You know what I'm saying? I can see that, and I say, yeah, O.J. did get in trouble. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to hate you, dude. I don't have to hate you because you did something I don't like or I think that you did.
Thank you.
I think you
That's
did
the thing, right?
I don't know if O.J. killed them people. You know what I'm saying? Right. But I do know that motherfucker ran for 2,000 yards in a 14-game schedule. I do know that motherfucker was one of probably the best running back in college football history. Honestly, for real. So I do know that. But for me to step into your life, man, motherfucker, I think
the one thing I'll say is this.
You couldn't fit in them shoes.
Casey Affleck, when his movie got nominated for an award, after the whole Nate Parker thing happened, a lot of the same people who were all up on Nate Parker and who are probably now all up on Kobe, they had so many excuses or split hairs. Like this one woman that was so into bashing, and it was Anne Helen Peterson. She's some white journalist. She was so into bashing Nate Parker and anyone who stood up for him. But then when it came time for Casey Affleck, she got defensive for him. And it's like, what's the difference besides the fact that he's a white guy and you like his movies and stuff?
It's the same thing for David Bowie.
Yeah. Oh, that too. There was a girl who was all day long bashing R. Kelly for being a pedophile. But then when it came out of David Bowie and his wife molested like 15-year-old girl of color on top of that. The girl looked like she was black, and this was a black girl sticking up for David Bowie. Suddenly she's like, we have to be nuanced about these things. And then Aki got in her ass. She's like, didn't you just say this about there's no nuance for pedophiles?
I think we all got into it with that girl.
We all got into it, but I think Aki got into it with her the most. Like they went
Steven Tyler, all them motherfuckers. Man, look, I know. Look, as a former musician and a person that loves music and been around music, there's so much fucked up shit that has happened with these Elvis. There's a lot of fucked up shit that has happened with these dudes sleeping with kids, and I'm talking about kids, 13-year-olds. Right. What's the motherfucker Jerry Lee Lewis? Great Balls of Fire. That motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, the lyric to Belle Biv DeVoe.
Oh man, backstage, underage, adolescent, yeah.
Ryan wrote that shit. I don't know why, but I
don't know why either. Yeah, I didn't. What you call his the dude answer wasn't really satisfactory as to what he just threw. He threw Busta Rhymes under the bus, though.
Oh, the Busta Rhymes write it?
Yeah. Yeah, he said Busta Rhymes wrote. He said, "Yeah, Busta Rhymes wrote that." I'm just saying.
That is no excuse. You're a grown man because if Busta Rhymes said like I love sucking dick, he wouldn't have rapped that. He would have been
exactly.
Like, he would have been like, wait, what's this?
Part of leaders of the new school, so I don't know how he got into a position to write those lyrics for Belle Biv DeVoe. I don't even understand it, but he wrote it. I don't know why.
That song, Cherry Pie, right? That was about a 15 or 16-year-old girl or something like that, right? It was about an adolescent girl. We just know that.
I love Iggy Pop. It's like one of my favorite rock acts, and he has a song straight up called "Sweet 16," and her loving's good. And it's a dope song too. But
shit, Into the Night, Benny. What's it called? Into that whole song is about him running away with a 16-year-old girl.
Yeah, man.
And Dylan Gray in the chat said, famous people aren't real to people, even though they worship them. Now there's pressure to appear woke, and that makes everything even weirder. That's true, but when it's a white guy and they like him, they'll suddenly find a way to make him real. Because that Casey Affleck stuff, they were making a lot of excuses.
Oh, no. He had one too many drinks that night, and he tripped, and he hit his head, and he fell in the bed, and it was a 16-year-old in the bed. I don't know.
Sexually harassing is
the Steven Tyler thing was really crazy. Somebody's house got burned down with the person in it or something.
Have her killed or some shit like that. Like it's crazy. You know what I'm saying?
I read this book. Killster 619 is talking about how Iggy Pop slept with the same teenage groupie that Bowie slept with. But there's this book called "Please Kill Me," Oral History of Punk Rock, and it covers all that shit. And there were a lot of underage groupies written up in that book, and it's all in there. Like this shit is not hidden or conspiratorial. I've read like the books because I'm into that music biography stuff. And when it was crazy, I brought it up once online. I forgot which groupie I was talking about, but I used this groupie's name as an example of an underage person that slept with these people, not to bash her because she was underage, but to talk about these acts. And I guess she was name searching herself. She came in my mentions, and she was like, "Hey, that was just the time."
That was the
times. That was the time. So she's an apologist for the.
Yeah, I think her name was Baby Newell. I forgot. She's one of those famous groupies. I remember she came in my mentions, and I'm like, "Damn, you're on Twitter too?" She's pretty name search herself. I didn't tag her, But the funny thing was, I wasn't bashing her, and I told her, I said, I'm not bashing you. I'm talking about, and she was surprisingly cool. She goes, "Okay," then she disappeared. But what? Fucking weird as shit.
Hey T, see if you could pick one of the comments or something, because I think you could send a link to people that are in the chat, and then you could bring them on.
Yeah, you can.
On the line, and then let them spit their opinion or whatever. You want to try that, or you want to save that for another day?
Hold on, let's see if I can fuck with it. Hold on, let's see how you do it. Oh no, that wasn't what I meant to do, but I just found this out by accident. Check this out. I could put comments on the screen.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's cool. I didn't. That wasn't what I was trying to do, but
What was that comment with reference to? What was the context?
Let's see.
Although this is useless, we know how this works. Consider who we have in the Supreme Court as a Supreme Court justice. 2 of them in one's investigation was a complete joke. Which one? We talking about Bill Clinton?
No, you're talking about the brother with Anita Hill.
Oh, Clarence Thomas.
Clarence Thomas.
Yeah, I don't know how to bring. I gotta look this. Oh wait. Oh, maybe I can. Hold on. So the same link I send you guys, I just give somebody in the chat.
Yeah.
Oh, but how do you do that though? You'd fuck around and send the link to everybody in the chat, and then
you just send it to their email.
Yeah. Oh,
no, okay. Their email, and then you can email them the link, and then they can get on. And then if they talk crazy, you can boot them. Whatever the fuck you want to do.
Oh, I see. Oh, so that's not a bad feature to have. Invite somebody if they want to become a fourth on the chat for the night.
Can you kick people off the chat too? I mean, off of here.
Yes.
Oh, you got the power to do that.
I can kick y'all off.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Don't do it now. He let that be known. He's like, I can kick y'all off.
No, but I'm saying if I can kick y'all off, then I can definitely. There's no way I can imagine I can.
Yeah,
I can kick y'all off, but I can't kick them off. That's all I'm saying. I wasn't threatening to kick y'all off. I'm just saying, as long as I can kick y'all off, I figure I must be able to kick them off if anybody goes crazy.
But the only way you can do it is via email, huh? Damn.
I'm trying to find. Let me see if I can find it.
Well, first off, does anybody want to join the chat? Does anyone in the comments or chat field actually want to be?
You muted yourself, Kenny.
Oh, I did.
No,
I didn't.
I hear Kenny.
No, I was looking at the YouTube stream to see how many likes we had.
Oh, I saw his lips moving and I didn't hear no sound at first. I'm like, what the hell's going on?
Okay,
what the fuck?
No, I'm just fucking with y'all, really.
Oh, yeah, but what the fuck is that?
Oh, you fucking with that's what you, okay, you asshole. I swear he was talking and I wasn't hearing no sound. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
No, I'll just trolling.
Oh shit.
But you know what? What about we end it now, and for next time we throw out the offer at the top of the time for anybody want to join the video chat.
Yeah, we have a phone soon, so you guys can call too. One of these days, we're gonna put that together.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I ain't talking about stay on the chat stay in the video with us. I'm just like, if they wanted to comment on something, you know, we could select a comment from somebody that we think is smart, and then send them the chat link, have them join in, give their take, and then get the fuck out of here.
That's what I thought for like 10, 15 minutes. You know, they come in, talk a little bit, and then we that'll be good. That can work until we figure out the phone thing. I think the phone thing.
Why, Andre? Why you staying far away? What you doing? What you got going on, Andre? Talk about you staying far away from this one. What you doing?
Wait. You see Andre somewhere?
Yeah, he said, "Let me open my mouth. I'm liable to get canceled." What you got going on? What's going on north of the border?
Oh, there we go.
What up, Andre? What's up, fam?
What's up, Andre? Salam, what's going on?
Hold on, before we go, let's give Andre's hold on.
Yeah, shoot Andre the link.
Let's see.
Killster 619 said I'll end up on a watch list.
Let's see. Actually, you know what? Let me see. Hey yo, Andre, do you want to come on for like the last 5 minutes? How you feeling? We're about to end, but if you want to just pop in,
y'all be coming on at all types of hours.
Talking like you're in Canada. You're the same time. You're on the same.
No. That was the Salam. How you say that? Salam.
You're in Toronto.
Y'all be.
Yeah. Oh, for people who are wondering, once we get to 1,000 subscribers, our plan is to have a regular weekly time.
100%. Andre said, okay, but on voice chat. See, he's like me. He don't want y'all seeing this where he's at. I'm not showing you my filthy surroundings.
All right. In celebration of Andre, we're going to get.
Andre, you can, there's an option to cut off the video camera on when he sends you the link. You cut the video camera off. It says start cam. You just click that and then it turns the camera off and just puts like a stock image on there as a photo or something like that, or you could add your own.
Okay, I'm gonna invite him now. All right, so I sent the invite to Andre. So I'm gonna ask you guys: are you guys wearing pants?
I got naked, man.
Was that?
I got a. You think we're gonna be doing the podcast with a shirt with a tie on, and then have some boxer shorts and remember socks and sandals?
Robert De Niro was in a casino when the dude was calling. He was like, "Somebody's coming up to see you," and he was sitting there. He had no pants on, but he had a dress shirt on and tie.
Yeah, pretty close to it. I'm just chilling with some basketball shorts on myself, man. I ain't. It's just lazy Sunday, man. I ain't doing shit. I did have plans, but the Kobe Bryant thing kind of just sucked all the wind out of my sails for the day. So between him and the Nipsey Hussle thing earlier this year, and then
I know
my father-in-law passed away last year too, late last
condolences.
year. So, sure.
And the year before, Mike, man, rest in power.
Mike,
that really fucked me up. I still think about that
every day, man. I think about Big Mike every day, man. That's we still got to do that best of with Mike because there's so many clips with Mike, man, that are hilarious. We gotta
you know what B. Scott said? They didn't even had no clothes on. I knew there was like white folks. You can't trust these brothers.
Don't nobody stand up. Don't stand up.
No, but I'm with you. I'm sorry I cut you off, Mario. You were saying,
good.
Yeah, about Mike. Yeah. I'm telling you, man. It's and there's a lot of times where we talk about a topic, and I'd be wondering, like, what would Mike think about this, or where was his thought going to evolve to? Hey, Andre, what's up?
Yo, what's going on?
What's up, Andre?
Y'all hear me? How you doing?
I think your volume has to be up a little bit.
Is this okay? Is it better?
Yeah, yes, better.
Yep.
B. Scott said Mike with the jazz voice, and he was on point with his movie references. That's true. Mike could remember the minutia of every movie, which I stuck with.
Yeah,
I have a mental brain when it comes to movies. I forget shit right after, but he.
I think I'm somewhere in between. I remember certain things, but other things I'm lost. So, yeah, that was my guy, man. That's
yeah. But having this YouTube thing is kind of funky because a lot of times I don't feel like getting a haircut, but I'm like, oh fuck it, I'm staying home in the weekend. We're gonna podcast, but now like on Friday I have to get a haircut. I'm like, oh,
he ain't got no clothes on.
Right. Well, when you see T come on with a silhouette and nothing, and you know what the deal is.
Yeah, I was wearing a shirt with palm trees yesterday. I was too lazy to change. I thought y'all.
Is this one of the things where you didn't do laundry? I don't know if you have like an in-house laundry or not, but you're like, man, I can't make it out to the laundromat this week. And you're down to like your last T-shirt.
Yesterday I was wearing some palm tree shit. I thought for sure they're gonna roast me, but I got away with it. It was late. That's why it was no one to roast me for the palm tree shit.
It couldn't have been me in the chat. Oh, nothing.
North, Andre.
No, I was watching the Raptors game today, man. I can't even lie to you. I've cried twice tonight. Once when I found out that Yana was in the helicopter with Kobe when the helicopter went down. Bro, I got twin daughters, and we were giving them a bath when I found out the news, and I just broke down, man. I couldn't even. I thought about like that helicopter going down and all the parent, like, there's like two sets of parents in a helicopter. I just imagine them like holding on to their kids as they went down, the side of that hill. And I was watching the Raptors Spurs game, and so Kyle Lowry, being on the Raptors, and then DeMar DeRozan, who was our second star player on the Raptors, who got traded away, and that really broke our hearts. Like that was the trade that got us Kawhi, and to see DeMar and Kyle just hug each other like after the game was over, man. That again. I'm not somebody who cries often, but that put me in tears, bro.
They said that before who did the Brooklyn Nets play tonight? I forgot who they played, but they said Kyrie heard the news and left.
Oh man,
just went home.
Oh damn.
Yeah.
He didn't even, because they said that him and Kobe was real tight. They said that when Cleveland won the championship, when they beat Golden State, they said he was the first person he FaceTime was Kobe after the game. So they said when he found out that Kobe died, he just left. He didn't even.
Yeah,
he just went home.
They
didn't tell anybody.
They showed live footage. They showed live footage of LeBron coming off of the flight. He was, how you can see when somebody's like really, really crying, where they shoulders start moving up and down and everything. He was, he was hugging somebody, and he just started.
And he just finished overtaking them past this all-time scoring record. He just went looking past third.
Look at Andre. He got to put the pick up with him flexing, man. You see this, man?
Yo, let me show y'all something real quick, right? Because this is something, man. If you look, hold on. Right here, right? If you look, you search the word white leftist on Twitter, and this is me not cherry picking. Shit is like white leftists be like, eat the rich. By the way, I hate black people. White leftists are a plague and hide behind the marginalized identity to spew anti-black takes. Just people after people are just sick of this anti-blackness by white leftists. And this is not me cherry picking. I want to show like they're doing themselves such a disservice. Like this kind of trolliness that they're kind of doing online that I think they think is cute. And when they're doing their pro Bernie Sanders antics and stuff, they're pissing a lot of people off except for each other. And I think it's really gonna kind of backfire on them. Like right now, we're in a world where Twitter is only a small thing. Social media is a small thing. Most voters are offline and not on this stuff. But as online gets more and more important, like, I don't know. I don't think they kind of realize how bad they look to people not in their tribe with the buzzwords and the jargon and
That's the thing is, like, people who just like walk around and live their everyday lives and aren't super online, they don't think like this, eh?
Yeah, they don't think like
and
that.
the thing with I was saying to a friend earlier, I was like, yo, white women are in their fucking bag tonight. They're just it's one thing to, and granted, like, of course, at some point, whatever staying on his legacy does have to be talked about, but they hadn't even recovered the man's body and those other people's bodies out of that helicopter by the time they got started on that shit. Still smoking, bro. Their bodies hadn't even been recovered yet, and they're talking that shit. Like,
but also a lot of white men who want a virtue signal.
Yeah. Oh, but that's the other thing too. I don't even know that's. I don't know. Maybe it's a virtue signal thing, but I also kind of feel like the enmity they already have for black people that's kind of simmering beneath the surface. It's like, oh, this is a safe one. I can, what I mean? That I can go shit on.
Yeah, black people, those niggers won't get mad at me about this.
Yeah. It's like I can always tell when it's.
Well, let me ask
a legitimate critique
comment after comment. All these people are just sick of them. I'm not cherry picking. It's just like.
Let me ask you this though, T. Is it one of those things where a couple of people said something and then the responses to what the couple said are kind of blowing the thing up?
No. There's a significant enough amount of people just kikiing and jumping on this shit to laugh about it and trying to be one up each other because that's how they are. Once something is there to joke about, all these irony Twitter leftist accounts, they all kind of get on the same page and move at once. You know what I'm saying? And enough of them are doing that where it's, I mean, if you just search the term white leftist right now in quotation marks, it's just all people are talking about, like, I'm fucking sick of these fucks and whatever. And it's like the way they're alienating people online, but they're in such a bubble where all they do is tweet and hang out with each other. I don't think they realize how much bad blood they're building. And I'm not saying it's going to be enough to really turn people against people like Bernie Sanders and stuff, but anybody who's online is like sick of them. And it makes you wonder, like, what are these people like offline? Like, are these people like knocking on doors and going on houses? Like, I wonder when it's time to canvas if they're I mean, hopefully in real life they know how to. Or maybe these people are so online they're not the ones doing the canvassing and doing all that stuff. I don't know, but
Yeah,
I just
I
think
think
this. Yeah.
it's probably just a couple of knuckleheads, man. Hopefully, it's not that. Hopefully, the number is marginal enough to where I'm hoping that the effect of it is just being magnified by the people replying to it. You know what I'm saying? It's sort of like what we see on Twitter sometimes with a lot of the blue check blacks that kind of blow up something that somebody may or may not have said. You know, 3 people said it, and then there's 300,000 retweets of people talking about what the person said, and then you go searching for the original comments, and nobody really said that.
I mean,
I'm hoping that it's
well. I'll say this: a lot of people who like follow me and stuff were saying stuff like that. I had to block a lot of people.
Oh shit! Okay,
yeah,
I didn't
bro.
know that.
I saw Benjamin Dixon. He was blocking everybody tonight. You know,
really?
Benjamin Dixon was getting sick of it.
Oh,
and
he was.
I was getting sick of it. And then there were people who were like, when I complained about it, one of these like irony leftists would leave a snarky comment to me, and then I'd see like a bunch of these little irony leftists that follow me, liking the comments. I'm like, everything that's funny, block, fuck all of you. Like I like.
Yeah,
you know, because there's a lot of them. I don't know. They just have a. I don't know. There's just a nasty way about a lot of them. That
I mean, we're not surprised, are we?
No, hell no.
Okay, all right. Because I was
it's
about to tell you,
it's always looking right beneath the surface.
Yeah, it's always been there. I mean, you know, if you play with a puppy, it lick you in the mouth. It's still a fucking dog.
yeah, but they're gonna turn off a lot. They're gonna turn off a lot of people, and I think they are turning off a lot. Like online, they are. Luckily, they just aren't offline yet. But I'm like, as the internet gets more and more important as time goes on, I mean, these people are just very alienating. They don't even realize it. Like people don't want to see that ironic 4chan-y edgelord shit all the time and drill jokes and all this. You know, they just look like weirdos to people, but they're so entertained with each other. That's all they care about.
Somebody said, "What do you think of Chapo? Were they cool or they cool?" As far as I know, I don't know.
I didn't see them. I didn't see them do anything in regards to this. I didn't see them posting that stuff. But it was like a lot of like people in that fan base, definitely, because these people were following me. I'm sure found me through them because I have a ton of those type of followers now, and they're always just kind of saying like fucked up slick shit in my replies all the time, and like those are the people who were kind of getting kind of butthurt when I was saying this is kind of ghoulish, and they made it about themselves. And when I looked, it was always like somebody with like a name like the noun haver, like the cheese grater. You know, like they have a certain style of how they do their profiles. People,
the noun verber.
The noun verber, or really long sentence that makes no sense, but I think is clever, and I worked a long time on it to make sure it made no sense. And
some inside joke that was on some like indie fucking white people's podcast from last year or some shit.
Yeah. Or was a throwaway line from an Adult Swim show, like, you know, like they have a very like, remember when hipsters first came around in the aughts, and people joked all these people want to be unique, but they all want to be unique in the same way. So all the hipsters all just like each other. I feel like their profiles are the online version of that. They all want to be weirdos, but they're all weird in the exact same way. You know?
Yeah. I mean, man, it is what it is, man. I think like we talked about earlier with all of these things, you're always going to get people that make these really wild ass ghoulish comments, and you know, just got a lot of nutcases running around, and the internet gives them the ammunition that they need to get off the sick shit that's always running around in their heads, man. It's like you said, you characterize it as a force multiplier.
Yeah,
right?
But I want to be fair though. There were a lot of people in that camp, even people who had some of those profiles, like non-verber type profiles and stuff, who were like saying that this is fucked up or this is tiresome. They were like,
"Excuse me, fellas, I'll be right back, man. My computer's about to turn off. I gotta grab my charger real quick. I'll be right back."
Okay, cool. I think I could do one of my moves and like drop a bomb, but the computer's a better excuse. Yeah.
We're not going back to the shitty episode. We're not doing that.
Yeah, I don't want to paint everybody with a broad brush, because there were a lot of people who had that look and aesthetic and whatever, who were like saying like, you know, these people are ghouls. one like DSA girl was I mentioned this goes, these people are very tiresome. Someone said, I want to report these people, but I wish tiresome or evil was an option because these people just never turn it off. So I want to be fair. I'm not painting them all with a broad brush, but there's enough of them that it's not an insignificant amount, I would say, and it's enough to turn off a lot of people. Is what I would say. And
here's the thing, though, is that like a lot of people in our communities they're gonna pass away with some very complicated legacies, and that's just the way it is. Like it's weird how in theory we can talk about how the carceral system touches everybody. The prison industrial complex touches everybody. Hurt people, all that stuff. We can say these platitudes all we want, but when people actually get caught up behind what it is that we're sitting here theorizing, all of a sudden they don't have humanity anymore, and that's the part that really bothers me. And I'm somebody who's a prison abolitionist, right? Like I kind of put it like my point of view is either this: it's either all right. So if you want to punish people, just send them home to meet their maker. They can try again in the next life. It's either that, or you find a way to rehabilitate and reintegrate people. But there's sort of like halfway point where we are, where it's like, oh yeah, lock them up, lock them under the jail, and so on. Like I don't believe in that shit, man. That's just not how we were never meant to, like human beings were never meant to be in prison. And prisons were never meant to be a tool for justice. They were never meant to be that. Why is it that prisons only start showing up, in 17th, 18th, 19th centuries, right? Why is it that for like the entirety of human history, we got by without prisons? And then this is, as we develop industrialization, we also develop prisons. I don't want to go on my whole like black socialist tangent, but all I'm trying to say is that this isn't a natural state for us. It's like this carceral mindset, this mindset where like every human being is reduced down to the worst thing that they ever did in life, and that's all they should be remembered for. I don't believe in that shit, man.
Yeah, it's funny. And people think like the most extreme penalty is just death. Yeah.
If you go back,
that's what we want to do. If that's what we want to do, just fucking kill people. You know what I mean?
If you look at ancient society, that's exactly what happened. If you committed a heinous enough crime, they kill you.
Yeah.
Or on the flip side of that, there was no prison system back then. So what they would do is either A, you would volunteer servitude for whatever period of time to make up for your crime, or you would have to pay restitution.
Mm-hmm. Or they would exile you.
Yeah. And it worked for them, and like you said, there's never been anything in the history of the world where we have this thing where people get these lofty prison sentences and you just kind of, like you say, you're stuck in limbo. And it's that in and of itself is inhumane because that has to be funded. And then you see the kind of shit that's going on with that prison in Mississippi right now, where you have the prisoners living in these humane conditions. And then you look at
the same people who are talking about these inhumane conditions that the prisoners are living in. You know what? They probably committed some fucked up crimes too, but they're still human beings.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, how on one hand can you sit here and get upset about the conditions of this prison, but it's like, but this is what prison does. This is what it's designed to do. It is inhumane by its very nature. Even if they cleaned up these prisons, transported them to some other facility that was a little bit cleaner, served food that wasn't moldy, had toilets that actually worked, it's still a fucking prison.
But also, if it's someone they like, they'll find that humanity. Like, for example, a lot of these people love Stalin. You know what I mean? And Stalin is very, very controversial.
Sorry, we had that controversy out here in California when Stanley Tookie Williams, who was one of the original Crips, he was on death row for decades before they finally went ahead and executed him. And they tried to do some last minute stays of execution, but Arnold Schwarzenegger, who was the governor at the time, he wouldn't give him any kind of leeway with that, and it's just like this thing where if you're going to sentence somebody to die, just kill them, let them exhaust their appeals and then go. But this thing where you keep somebody waiting to die for 20 plus years, man, is sick. You know what I mean? In the time that he was in there for that period of time, he wrote children's books. He spoke anti-violence campaigns. He really changed his life and tried to make up for his past or whatever. Wrote children's, but I think he won some awards or something like that for some of the books that he wrote. And then they went ahead and executed him anyway after he had been in prison for 20 some odd years, on death row. And there's just that doesn't sit right with me, man. There's just something real fucked up and heinous about stuff like that.
Another example is like Alice Walker is somebody who had a really problematic body of work. She married a Jewish guy. Some people say that because she has some kind of guilt about marrying out, she kind of spent a lot of time bashing black men. That's one theory people have. Then she divorced the Jewish guy and then became a rabid anti-Semite. Like, she's always getting in trouble for anti-Semitism.
And disowned her Jewish daughter.
Yeah, and disowned her Jewish daughter. And her Jewish daughter wrote all this heinous stuff about like how psychologically abusive she was. And a lot of people could, when Alice Walker dies, I bet a lot of people are not going to say the same heinous stuff about her, whether white leftists, whether black feminists, or whatever. So it's like these people, they know when to pull back or find the nuance. That's the thing. Like, I think in a way I could respect it more if we could actually find some people who are really across the board draggers. You know what I'm saying? Like, people, but a lot of these people do not like that. A lot of these people, they will change the tune and find the nuance when it's one of their icons or one of their things, For example, there's Audre Lorde is somebody that everybody loves. She's the one who wrote Sister Outsider, and she's someone that even like a lot of white liberals and white leftists, will not touch. But she's someone who got into a lot of trouble with being accused of. I'm going to show the article right here. Hold on. But she got accused of abusing partners and preying on students and stuff, and being kind of, I mean, I don't know if it's been proven in any way, but the accusations are there. But for a lot of these people,
a lot of times the accusation is, that's all you need.
Yeah, I mean, Nate Parker was acquitted by a white jury, and that still was enough to get him permanently branded as a rapist. Like, the accusations are enough. So it's like,
and can I say the counter to that a lot of blue check bougie Negroes were using was disgusting. They were saying, well, a lot of cops that killed black people were acquitted, so should we just leave that alone?
Get the fuck out of here.
Oh my God, it makes
absolutely no sense. This is the article, if people want to look it up. This is the article. It's from thefeministwire.com, and you can Google the title, To Hell with the Goddess and Celebration of the Human Person, Audre Lorde. And it mentions like some of these allegations. If you want to look it up yourself and see them in context. But yeah, it's like these people know when to find the nuance, or when it's, if she was to die tomorrow, she's already dead, but say if she was still alive and she died tomorrow, these people, I'm sure, would not be doing the same stuff. But I think there's something with straight black men that just gives people the kind of go ahead, because I think you used this phrase once, Andre, about there's a gap between intersectional theory and class reductionist theory that gives straight black men a unique vulnerability.
Yeah, it's like it's exactly what you said. It's falling between the gaps. It's like, because intersectional theory doesn't really account for how it is that I wouldn't even just say straight black men, but black men period. Doesn't really account for their vulnerabilities and their unique sort of like the violence that's placed against them. Like there's multiple scholars that talk about this. It's Trevon Logan that talks about this. Tommy Curry talks about this. And I know that people feel a way about them, but they draw on empirical proof to show that like there is a specific kind of gendered violence against black men, whether gay, straight, trans, and so forth, but it exists, and we don't really try to apply that nuance. I think it becomes a bit of a contest where, God, I didn't really want to get into this, but where we say really weird shit online, like black men are the white people of black people. And it's like you want to collapse the oppressed and the oppressor to completely erase and invisibilize how it is that oppression actually, like any sort of nexus of oppression, actually falls on the shoulders of black men. So it makes them inhuman. It's like if you equate them to white men, basically what it looks like is, wow, what the fuck is wrong with these black dudes? Like they just can't help raping, can't they? They just can't help oppressing women. They can't help beating on people. They can't help killing and selling drugs and shit. And these white men are like, well, a long time ago they enslaved us, but I mean they got the shit together now, don't they? And it's just the weirdest type of analysis.
It's the weirdest shit that I've ever seen.
That
like
I've
the
ever
passes
seen,
that they're
bro.
willing,
That the people who are victimized by the oppressor are essentially the same as the oppressor. I don't fucking get that. And they call it.
And then the oppressor gets this weird pass. Like they give the oppressor a pass.
That's
like
the important part.
Unbelievable to me.
Yeah, because Mario, there was one girl who recently posted it again. She did the usual. Say it with me. This is a response to Terry Crews. Black men are the white people of black people. But then, I replied to her like, "That's not true because if they were, you treat them more respectfully because you." I talk to white people, man, nice. And then somebody saw that, and they pulled up, and it always ends up happening. They pulled up her old tweets, and she was thirsting for white men in the tweets.
Of course, never fail.
Yeah. Some white guy put like, "Where's my chocolate sisters?" And she posted a GIF with her hand up, like right here.
Oh man, that's some corny shit, man.
Yeah, so I'm like, okay,
where's my chocolate sisters?
Yeah. I'm like, if black men were the white people of black people, then you would be acting like. Why don't you act like that with us? You're not acting like that.
Right. Yeah. Wow, man. But what can you do, y'all? I gotta.
Same here.
I gotta get out of here. I didn't realize this. I gotta eat. I'm starving.
Yeah. I'm ready to wrap up too. But thanks for joining us, Andre.
No problem.
Any final thoughts?
Ladies and gentlemen, the great Andre from Canada, live on the Champagne Sharks. Appreciate it.
Thanks to everybody that joined us: Dylan Gray, Salam, B. Scott, Kilster, Jeffrey Corley,
Stacy D.
Yeah, say Stacy
D. B. Scott.
Yeah, all y'all.
JG.
We appreciate you. This weirdo Andre Domis. I gotta boot him.
that dude that gets on Twitter and talks about imperialism all day.
Yeah, that dude. All right, y'all. Peace. It was real. We'll be back on the regular podcast next week.
All right, y'all.
Take care, man.
Peace.
Whew.